Chancellor, sir, other principal officers of the university here seated, prestigious ladies and gentlemen, we want to apologize for starting this program late. It is as a result of some logistics that we are trying to put into place, and we want to make sure that we have enough members of the university community here present. From the memo sent to many of us, we are here to discuss a main important issue about our future. And we are so happy and glad that the management of the university is up to the task, heavily led by Mr. Vice Chancellor. We want to thank him for considering the welfare of the staff of this university. And I strongly believe that after today's parley, we are going to be very, very happy. So once again, I want to welcome all of us to this important meeting. Just to follow the protocol, our amiable Vice Chancellor is here, Professor Ayodele Akola. You're welcome, sir. And of course, we have the BBC card here, and that is Professor Latuno Okoye. We have the university bursar, and that is talking about Mr. Femi Joum, the FCA. I've been lately informed that the university librarian and the registrar would have loved to be here with us, but they are attending a 10th fund meeting right away. But meanwhile, they are ably represented. I believe that the registrar is ably represented by Mrs. Yomi Onoyinka, the Deputy Registrar Senior. And clerking the procedures of this meeting is Mrs. Jumoke Kaka. I still remain my humble self, Lee Oduwole. We have members of the PFA here too. There are 5 in numbers. We have Mr. Salau I. Olatunde of NLPC, Mr. Abimbola Ajayi of Access ARM, Adeyinka Adewale Chodimu of Crusader, and Dalemo Folaranmi of Lupenco, and of course Odunuga Bukola of Power Pensions. One of them will be speaking to us, and if there is any gap, the rest will fill the gap. Meanwhile, I will want to hand over to the Vice Chancellor to give a very brief remark about the purpose of this gathering and how far the management has gone about it and what they intend to do. Thank you very much. I think I deserve a better applause than that. Thank you.
university, provosts, deans, members of Senate are present, other members of the university community. I welcome all to this important gathering. It is first in its kind. What we usually have is members of congregations, and which I know that some of us might not be members of congregations, but most of the things that we are doing today affect all of us. And so it's very important to share this rather than making it a member of congregation to be members of the university community. And I want all of us to be attentive, because what we are discussing how to do with our today and our tomorrow. Our prayer has always been that we retire peacefully from this university. And when you retire, then you need to know what is waiting for you. And so we are going to discuss two major issues today: the pension matters, and the second one is other related issues. Those are the two. All of them are interwoven. So the second one has to do with the staff welfare. What we have in the pipeline for you, so that you can even save more before you go. You don't use all your money to start with transportation. So when we get to that stage, we also tell you what we have and what we are able to do. On the issue of this pension, we are seeing that it's causing a lot of crises, and there are people that are retired are not happy at all. To the extent that they form an association of retirees of tertiary institutions, and they had their chairperson from Taswell, and they had the secretary from here, Mr. Oluite Adekoya. And the petition, the House of Assembly, and the executive arm of government, and I was invited to come to the House of Assembly to give an explanation of why we are having this problem as of today. At that meeting, three things came up specifically, and we were able to try some of them, and one of them was so difficult to trash out. The first one is the interpretation of the law, which has to do with the issue of the exclusive list, as well as the one that House of Assembly also legislates on. We tried that one out because we were able to point it out for them clearly in that place. But what actually came to form was that as of today, they were using 2009 salary scale to pay their people. So when you then hear from outside, because at that meeting, if you see Professor Dede and others, you pity them. And I said it openly there, that what you people have done to us is not good. That what you are telling me here is that when I retire, this is the way I'm going to look like. And this is not good at all. Because one of them alleges that the wife who retired as a principal of the secondary school is earning far, far more than him as a professor. And he was even saying that it's better for him, he regretted that he become a professor, than rather he would have been a principal. Is that bad? When people who asked the PS of pension that was also there, what And the woman said, they will owe you. They have money, they brutally do whatever they like. They don't follow rules. And then, what is the meaning of that? Can we all read the rules out and let us see? I was there with people in the staff and mostly, so that we can also hear directly and see what we can do. And at the end of the day, they asked us to send all the documents which I did. And the 17th arm also asked us to come. And they also asked, and they sent a circular which is like a query to me as well, asking me to produce the law of this university, even if it's amended, everything should be provided, asking me to also provide the National Wages and Salaries Commission's circular from 2007 to date, and asking me to also supply them with all our salary structure from 2007 to date. At that point, I know they are going somewhere. Okay, we then look at the whole matter for ourselves. When we get to that stage, I will also explain that one to you. Then I asked sponsor to invite the PFA, so you can cross all the T and dot our I before we move to the pension office in Abeokuta. And because of our discussion, we discovered that we have some loopholes here and there that we also need to fill. So when he discovered that with me, I said, well, the best thing is for us to call everybody. You know, there are some people that did not join when the contribution pension started. Some joined. There are some opposite things here and there. And what you also need to have when you are going. And so that anybody can ask questions. Because this is about me, it's about you. When it's time, when you retire, we are not all going to retire at the same time. So when you are filling your form, and you're asking all those questions, I'm not going to be there. So it is better for all of us to hear directly from the PFA what they are looking for. And what does the law says? And how can we jointly agree on how to pursue that? So that all of us will see clearly where we are. And that is it. So at this point, I'll pause, call the Nupeco man to start, and after that, we'll ask, and that lady, because I always like inclusivity. So gender balance will be there. So and there's only one lady among them there. So we'll also ask her to talk to us. And if there's any missing link, all of them can also answer all the questions together. The floor will be open for people to ask questions. We can all decide where to go. And then from there, we move to the next stage, the implication of what has happened. We also discuss it. Why we allow them to go, because they are outsiders. So their own is to tell us what we need to do. And then when they come to discuss anything, we can have them to leave us. So I had one behind. We will give one of them behind. So come up, don't worry. We'll give you the podium. The Nupeco man. But we'll give you the mic. You can use my podium. It's not the governor's home. That is always very special. This one, you can use it. Or when the president wants to speak, you bring their own.
Good morning, sir. The Vice Chancellor. And all other management team ground. I welcome you once again, sir. My name is Salim Ofolaromi. Nupenko Dex Officer, Olabisi Olubanjo University. I welcome you all to this wonderful gathering, and we thank the management for giving us the opportunity and the platform to be here to meet with the staffs for the university. So I thank you once again, sir. God bless you, sir.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, Vice Chancellor and all the principal officers of the institutions. Thank you very much for inviting us here. I want to tell you that in 2004, the federal government came up with the Pension Reform Act 2004, and all the federal government workers and all private organizations key into that scheme. And in 2008, Ogun State has its own pension reform, pension law, pension law, and under the leadership of the governor then, Kenga Daniel. So all the workers in Ogun State, you all register with different PFA, thinking probably they are going to key into that Pension Reform Act 2004, where contributory pension scheme, and then 15% of your total emoluments were deducted, 7.5 from the employer, 7.5 from the employee. But it got to a time when the government could not proceed, they could not even pay their own counterpart fund, and some organization in Olabisi Investigation Hospital, they were paying one leg, that is employee alone. And got to a time when some organization could not pay, and even Ogun State workers, they just stop, but they are deducting their own counterpart fund, keeping it, and people are retiring, day in, day out, they are retiring. What are PFA doing? What we are doing was we are refunding your money, including interest. You can ask those who retire. Some of them just contributed 300. Some people's contribution was 300,000. Why PFA would have had like 1.72 million to eat? Then when they are going, we give them that money. Why the state government settle their gratuity and start paying monthly pensions? But if you look at it, not as if they are paying as at when due, because there was no provision for that program. There was no provision. And so, as at today, I think they paid till 2012 or 2014. So, only those who retired in 2014 have collected their money. So, when this government came in, when the union fought in fortnight or probably last month, they now resolve that they want to go back to CPL, contributory pension scheme. They want to go back to it fully. And I want to tell you, we started in Abeokuta, all the both pension office, which is the Bureau of State Pension and Bureau of Local Government Pension. We sat together and we look the way forward. What's the way forward? The way forward is that they must be paying your pension every month to your pension account without fail. But there are issues. What are the issues? The issue is they have refused to pay for some years. How are they going to pay that? The government now came with a blueprint that they are going to pay it, even with what? With interest. They are going to credit the account, but how are they going to do it? They are going to do it step by step. Those who will be going in the next 5 years, they will settle them. Another 5 years, they will settle them. They now gave us a timeline that as from July 2nd, those who retire in July 2nd will go with contributory pension scheme. While those who retire July 1st will still go with the old scheme. So they now ask us to go to all the institution, their unit, to go and do what is called PIN revalidation. What is PIN revalidation? Do you know some people register there, but they don't know their PIN? Some people have 2-3 PINs. Some people have 2-3 PFAs. So they want us to resolve that. And some people, they have not done their data recapturing. That one is even minor, because you can change your data anytime. You can change your phone number. You can change all other things later. You can do it. It's a work in progress. So they not ask us to do that. So if you watch the OGTV around that July, they went to the press to go and even, and after that, they now constituted a panel. They call it a pension management whatever, who will see to all these payments. But don't forget, this institution is self-funding. Then last month, the leadership of the bursary called us, and we have Georgia. We discussed on the way forward, because it's self-funding, and we realized that some the non-teaching staff don't have such issue. The teaching staff, some of them did not register when the thing started in 2008, and they did not register, and their money were not deducted. So how are they going to settle those groups? And we have some who have not registered at all among us. How are they going to settle that group? And the last one is those who have registered and some money are in their accounts. How are they going to settle that group? We came with a position, and we discussed with the leadership of the bursary, and we were able to look at it that some people are going next year. So why can't we look at those who will be going soon? Let's settle them. Once we settle them, then those who will be going after that, we know how to when we get to the bridge, we know how to cross it. And they said, okay, they will go back home. They will go and see how they can juggle things and see the way forward. The fact is, when they say contributory pension scheme and the state asset is not going back, it then means when you retire, your PFA will pay you. Except you want to ask questions on how are we going to pay you, or how is PFA going to pay you, then you can ask that question, or you can further ask other questions that relate to contributory pension scheme, because the state said no going back on contributory pension scheme, and they have started that. Even all the PFA, they have changed their platform. If someone came to our office last week, he retired after July 2nd, we told him the same thing, and we had even asked him to go to the Bureau of State Pension, that they did not give him clearance. When he got there, I said yes, they did not give him clearance. They said they are now on contributory pension scheme. And under contributory pension scheme, I want to say that what we were deducting before, that was 15%, is now 18%. 18%, that is the employer paying 10%, while employee paying, deducting 8%, making 18%. That 18% is what all the PFA will work on, and also give return on it every month. And I want to tell you, those who, some of us who are seeing a lot in those days, you only see your contribution, employee contribution, employer contribution, either the gain or the total. So that is how it works. I don't know if you want to ask questions you want to ask further questions. I want to stop there, sir.
Please take the mic. But there are some things that maybe we deliberately omitted. You started, the contributory pension started in 2004.
Yes, sir. Federal government. Federal pension reform act 2004.
Not so.
Yes, okay.
So there's a law.
Yes.
That says that it's supposed to start in 2004.
Yes.
Okay? But we started 2008.
Yes, it was state.
So what happened between 2004 and 2008?
Yeah, we discussed that with him too. The federal government needs all the states to start, they have to have their own law. All the states, Lagos State has its own law, that is pension law. Ogun State also has its own pension law. So that is when you want to start. It then means those who work from when they started working till 2008, you settle them.
Who settled them?
Either the government or the institution settle them. This is self-funding.
No, don't let them confuse you.
All right, sir.
They are not like self-funding.
Okay. And then let's say state settle them. State settle them. Okay. State settle them.
No, what I know, look, let us be clear.
Okay.
What I know is that today,
Yes, sir.
we back all our files to Abeokuta, and the pensions are paid over there.
Yes.
Okay? So what I'm trying to ask you is that if I have started, because according to that law you are referring to, they said if I have spent 18 years
Before 2008.
before 2008,
Yes.
they will pay.
They will pay.
You still stand.
You still stand.
Okay. And I retire July 1st.
July 1st. Then the pension administrator pays you from 2nd.
But no, but whatever it is, okay, let me say that I'm going to retire December, for instance.
December. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Does it mean that government will pay me up to July 1st?
Yes, sir.
And anything after July 1st,
they will not pay.
will not pay.
They will not pay.
Okay.
They will not
So
pay.
that means it's only July 2nd to any time we get.
Yes, that's what they will pay.
Okay. If I started working,
Okay.
but it's not up to 18 years, before 2008,
All right, sir.
and I'm going to retire the next 10 years. So does that mean that the government will also pay up to July 1st and then they'll pay the rest?
Yes, they will pay their counterpart fund from July 2nd. They have their counterpart fund, which is 10%. But you are paying from July 2nd. You are paying 88%. I mean, the employee are paying 88% every month.
So what happened in 2008 to July 1st?
2008 to July 4th, government pays.
2008 to July 1st of this year.
Of this year, government pays.
So I don't need to do contributory pension before today, before July 1st. Is that what it means?
According to them.
You get what I'm saying? Because we need, am I speaking your mind? Yes. So everybody need to know, we need to get this thing clear. We need to get this thing clear.
Sir, contributory pension scheme commenced in Ogun State 2008. Every worker assumed to have retired at December 31st, 2007. It means that what you are contributing, by the time they are enacting the law, they put it at the middle way. 17 years and a half, go with the old scheme. 17 years and a half, go with the new scheme. Whosoever that has 17 years and a half, at that time, they believe that they are into the new scheme. It means that your contribution has started from 1st of January 2008, in which you'll be doing. It's just that at establishment of Banjo here, at the beginning you are only paying employee contribution. You commenced employer in 2019, and thereafter you later pay 2009 employer contribution. But as we are still speaking today, 2008 employer contribution. As we are speaking today, 2009 till January 2019, December 2017 employer contribution still stand outstanding. Now, what are we saying, sir? It means that for those that have been in service before 2008, then when we told Bossa, there's what we call accrued rights. That accrued rights, it means that the past service prior contributory pension scheme in 1st of January 2008 as Ogun State case. Am I clear, sir? I think the Vice Chancellor will get what I'm saying right.
My people, don't let's allow it to finish. We will ask all the questions from him. He's here. And we are paying. So we are about to answer all your questions today. What What we're asking is simple.
Okay, sir.
Whoever that is working here
Yes, sir.
before 2008
Yes, sir.
is the business of government. That's our good right.
So that is our good right. Either the business of the Ogun State University or business of the Ogun State government. That would be an arrangement between Ogun State University and Ogun State government.
All this for grammar. Let's go to the one that is very clear.
If you say state, sir,
Between
there must be
what
an
I'm saying,
arrangement between the school and the state.
Wait now. So these people that are here,
Yes, sir.
don't use technicality at all.
Okay.
Use plain language that you understand.
Okay.
But I'm talking about their future.
Okay, sir. Once they are Ogun State workers, is the Ogun State government that will pay the service before 2008?
Now, the question again is that between 2008
Yes, sir.
and July 1st
And July 1st. Okay.
of this year,
Okay, sir.
but I listen to the other
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
and government agreed that it's going to go with the old law.
With the contributory pension scheme. Contributory pension scheme.
It's old now, defined benefit.
Defined benefits, sir. Contributory pension scheme starts 2nd of July 2025.
We are saying the same thing now.
Now, you know, the law came two ways, sir.
Now, wait, so that we don't get confused.
Okay, sir.
July 2nd, 2025, contributory pension
Take effect.
take effect.
Yes.
What we are now asking you,
Okay, sir.
that between 2008
Till today.
to July 1st,
Yes, sir.
2025,
Yes, sir.
what happened?
Now, those that are retired on or before 2nd of July 2025, they believe they fall under the old scheme.
So that means they don't really need to contribute anything.
That's why we are refunding them. We are refunding them. Once they retire, we refund whatever they have in account to them. Everything with profit. He said it.
Okay? Now, let's go to the next question. I don't retire. I'm not speaking of that. I don't retire end of July.
End of July
What
last
I'm
month.
talking about is that if I retire by 10th of June, everything, which is 1st of July, everything that I contributed will be given to me.
Yes, sir.
Now, if I retire by end of July,
End of July last month.
yeah, that is last month.
And you fall on contributing pension scheme. If you retire on the 2nd of July, you're under contributing pension scheme.
We are saying the same thing. Now, what I'm saying now that they are not going to return my money
We are not
back.
refunding you. We are to pay you by the law guiding contributing pension scheme.
Okay? Can we now go? Are we getting there now? Can we now go into what guides the contributing pension scheme?
Okay.
So that these are the things that they need to know.
Okay. Let me, by the permission of the PC, sir. Now, you see, at the point of exit, that you are now under contributing pension scheme, as said, at the point of exit, you have two alternatives. You have two alternatives. Either you choose program withdrawal or annuity. Now, depending on what you consider best as your choice, you pick. It's now left for you to sit back, to study the advantage that attached to annuity and study the advantage that attached to program withdrawal before you now choose the one you think is your choice. But whichever way, before we go to annuity, we must pay you lump sum.
Yes, take one by one. Which one before annuity?
One is program withdrawal.
Abi?
One is program withdrawal. The second one is annuity.
Annuity.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry.
You cannot pick either of the two.
Explain. Don't get. You see, we are talking all of us here. You want to understand it, I will explain to somebody outside here.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
What is the program withdrawal?
Okay. Program withdrawal is the product of the PFAs. While annuity is the product of insurance company.
You make it more complex now.
It's not complex, sir.
Wait now. detail.
I will explain. I'm not trying to tell you that one is the product of the PFA, the second one is the product of insurance company. I'm surely explain annuity, but I can't go so far because it's the product of insurance company. So that I don't look like I'm bringing down another company. But you get what I'm saying, sir?
I don't like you because I didn't give my money to insurance.
Now let's not
give my money. Wait now. I didn't give my money to insurance. I give my money to PFA. Okay, the PFA will be able to explain what happened to my money.
Okay, sir.
Is that all?
Now, firstly, sir. Now let me take program withdrawal. Another person will take annuity. Now, before we choose either annuity or program withdrawal, your PFA must pay you your lump sum. And that lump sum is certain percentage of your total contribution in your RSA account. I'm coming, sir. We are going there. As I said,
so that we don't repeat yourself. You see, maybe we are going to hear. The people are going to hear. When you mention lump sum,
yes, sir.
What does that lump sum amount to?
Okay.
If you say certain percentage,
yes.
What percentage, all of them are very relevant.
Sir.
They will take their calculator and start calculating it here.
Sir. That percentage it varies based on the volume of your account, which vary from between 25% and 50% of your total balance.
That is the lump sum.
Yes, between 25% and 50% of your total balance. That is the lump sum. What now determines your percentage depends on some criteria. Firstly, the volume of your account. When I say the volume, the balance in your account. Secondly, your gender. Your gender. Thirdly, sir, your last pay. Your last pay at point of exit. Your last payment, yes, your last pay. Determine what you take and your age. And your age. Now, when PFA now pay you that lump sum, it's the remaining one you now determine either you are doing program withdrawal.
No, go my here. Go back to the volume of account. That volume, what is the minimum? That will give you 25%.
When we say volume, if your account, the balance you have in your account, after removing 25% of that amount, the balance there cannot pay minimum of 23,300. We pay you everything. You are not collecting monthly pension. Let's say, for instance, let me take an instance, sir. You have 2.5 million in your account. Divide 2.5 million by 4. That will give us around 600 or not up to 700,000. Now, the remaining 3/4 divided by 120, could you get 23,300? If it can't give you 23,300, law says it should pay you everything. But after removing 25%, and you now divide your balance there by 120 months, that's 120, and divide to 120, it gives you 23,350 naira. You are under program withdrawal. You can't collect everything en bloc.
That's 10 years.
That's 10 years. But at the same time, you should know that you can't collect the salary of 10 years in a month. That money is an investment, bringing return back to your account. And the return that's coming to your account is even more than what you are taking. By that extent, you can't exhaust the account.
Okay, what happened to after 10 years?
You'll be collecting money when the debt comes.
No, what I'm saying, you said 10 years.
Yes.
So after that 10 years, you give all my money.
No, you'll be collecting it till debt comes. When the debt net change address, the beneficiary will come and take the remaining balance.
Okay, let's go to the next one. We will still have time to ask questions, but I don't want you to explain all this. Gender.
Gender.
What do you mean by gender?
They believe that gender, we are talking of sex.
Okay.
They believe that women live longer than men. I'm not one saying that. We just believe that. Yes. That's why we believe that.
If it's female, if women live longer than men, what does that mean?
By implication, that template tends to give male more monthly pension considered to.
Okay, where will get more money?
Let's say they have the same amount in their account.
And where will get more money than female?
Yeah, that's because they have. It's because of the expectancy.
But where will get more money first?
Yes, now. Last payment. Let's say for instance, since that one is somehow tactical, we just have to listen, please. Now, if you have salary structure for counties, for non-teaching staff, counties, in that your pay slip, if you look at in front of that counties, you see certain value there. Let's say in my pay slip, for instance, my counties is 200,000. At the point of that retirement, the template believes that you must take 50% of that counties as your monthly pension. Believe that you must take 50% of that counties as your monthly pension. If that be the case, and you have 15 million as your balance in the RSA, now you know that we reserve 10 years monthly pension for every retiree. Now we now calculate 100,000, which is 50% of that counties. Now 100,000 times 120, that is 12 million. We now remove that 12 million, that template, not we, the template, the program now, the programming will remove that 12 million from your 15 million. That's what they will reserve for you as for your monthly pension. It means that you left with 3 million. That 3 million is supposed to serve as your lump sum. But there's another aspect of the law that says you should not take less than 25% as your lump sum. Now, if that 3 million divides 15 million by 4, 3 million is not up to quarter. What that template will now do, it will remove 3.5 million, which is the quarter of that 15 million, as your lump sum, and now divide the balance by 120 to calculate what you'll be getting as monthly pension. Yes, you less than 100,000 this time around.
Okay, age.
Age. The retirement age in contributory pension scheme is 50 years. Now, you may live before 50 years, even at age 50, while some may still remain to 60 years. And in the case of the lecturer, 70.
No, so what does that mean?
Now, what that means that people that are at age 65, 70, they will take one monthly pension compared to people that live at age 50 because they believe that they still have long years to go. That template believes that they still have long years to go.
So what we are trying to say that if I retire at 70, I'm likely to get a lump sum that is
more compared to the people that live at age of 50. Hope some million are clear, man.
So are we at that point now? Can you progress?
Please let me hand over to another person to pick it from here, sir.
She wants to talk about annuity. She wants to talk about annuity, but I want to also tell you that there's what they call minimum pension guarantee. Though it's not yet out, as from next year, when the budget comes out, minimum pension guarantee means even if your money finish, the government should continue paying you. Even if you have extorted the money, so even if you have extorted the money in your RSA, government will continue paying you. The bond will come up next month. The budget is with the National Assembly. Once they pay the bond, once the bond is paid, even if you Google it now, it's on Google now, it's on Google now. They are so called minimum pension guarantee because they don't want retiree to collect less than 25% of minimum wage. So because of that, that is why the new pension that DG just asked the federal government to provide for that, and to be provided every year 2% of all the states of the federation and federal government, 2% from their allocation will be deducted for that purpose, so that they don't want any retiree to say they don't have money to enjoy when they are still alive. Secondly on that is that when they say you are collecting 33,000 income every month, it's not static. Every 3 years there is what we call enhancement. Whenever they increase the salary of workers, they also increase the salary of retirees in law. So don't just say because the money is just 33,000, I started with 33,000. After 3 years they can increase it to 5,000. Another 3 years they will still increase it. Even the law, that one is circumstance, and that's what we are doing. Every 3 years they review the law. So every retiree collects money, increase their salary every 3 months, which I think is in fact 3 years rather. Thank you.
Okay, I'm waiting.
Standing on the existing protocol, my name is Nabimbola from Access ERA Pension. Okay, in regards to the annuity is purely for the insurance. It was Stephen that brought out about this very annuity. We have the lump sum, which my other colleague has mentioned, and we have what we call the program withdrawal, then the annuity. But one thing I want us to have at the back of our mind, before now, your money has been with your PFA. Your PFA has been the one managing this very fund. And now, during exit, after the whole calculation and everything, we have so many agents, let me put it that way, insurance agents that walk up to all our retirees. They will buy you, tell you this, they will tell you that the monthly program withdrawal that you'll be getting will be higher than that of the PFA, which is a lie. Now, annuity is stated for just 10 years. After 10 years, God so good, we are still alive, we can still have access to the money. But before 10 years, debt comes in, definitely the money that you have that is stated before 10 years will just be calculated and give to your next of kin. But after 10 years and something happens, then there is no money that will be given to your next of kin. Yes, that is the insurance aspect. And I want us to believe.
Wait, don't go back. That one, you give my money to someone. You go to every to run it for 10 years. It's the best of my behalf for 10 years.
No, sir.
Oh, God doesn't do that.
You instructed us to give your money to them. Some of our retirees.
You said that the law is not true, not today. But when I give you my money, I didn't say to go and invest in that.
No, we are not investing now. We are not the one doing this very investment thing. PECOM brought out this very law that if you want your money to be pushed to an insurance person for annuity,
well, it's optional.
It's optional.
So we can let them know that it's optional.
Sorry, sir. But the only issue I have with some of our retirees, we are money lovers. I am not accepting myself. We are money lovers. By the time an agent approach any of our retirees, they sweet mouth you because they have a particular percentage they have to take out of that money. Like you have 3 million plus to grab, an agent has 10% or 3% of that total money. So an agent is not even based on salary with the insurance agent, but they run around all our retirees for them to be able to access this very percentage. And most of our retirees in question, they want to buy into this very thing. By the time they lure them, sell them sweet things, not informing them about the deduction that will be made on behalf of that agent. By the time they come to us and we try to talk it out with them, the agents will make it known to them that whatsoever anything anybody tells you, don't listen. By the time we try to explain, we as the pension manager that have been with your fund, will be able to grow this very fund from your minimum to the maximum. But listen. You see them bringing the statement of account, requesting for statement of account, taking it to the annuity, the insurance people, then coming back that they want their money to be moved to the insurance agent. I have seen so many instances where we have so many retirees, you know, coming back to tell them that I want my money moved back to the PFA. It cannot be done again. Once you move out, you're gone. So that is why we try to explain it better to them that please, it is better for you to stay and enjoy your fund. Like my other colleague just mentioned, after every 3 years, that is what we call the enhancement. Enhancement, they calculate based on what you have left, which is the asset under management on individuals. Then they increase your payment on monthly basis again. But for insurance, there is nothing like enhancement. What you get on a monthly basis is what you get to 10 years. After 10 years, if the Lord calls you home or call anybody home, then nothing again. Unlike that of the lump sum and program withdrawal my other colleagues to mention, after 18 or 20 years and above, you still have some money left in your portfolios. And if anything happens, if the Lord calls anybody home, we do what we call paying of the beneficiary. We pay all. Unlike that of the annuity, that no payment will be done to the beneficiary.
Are you saying
What happened to the, sorry, what happened to the accrued rights?
you collect accrued rights before going to annuity?
Who is going to, help? You said, I wrote down 3 things there. You said there is accrued rights if I started working before the 2008. Abi? So that is called accrued rights.
Yes.
How am I going to get the accrued rights? Is it the PFA that is going to ask for it, or how?
No, the accrued rights will be added to your normal contributions. Even if it's not paid by your employer, even if it's not paid during your employment, in as much as you are tendering your exit letter, we will have to write to your employer asking for what we call remittance confirmation. So after receiving that of their,
What do you mean by remittance confirmation?
you know, on a monthly basis, your employer and employees' portion of payments is done on a monthly basis. And now you have done your own payment, every payment, and now you want to exit the system. You want to exit the system, you are no longer working, you have been given a letter for you to retire. You bring it to the PFA will do justice. The justice we will do is rewriting the employer again for you to be able to get all your remittance if it's totally correct, which is the confirmation of remittances. That's what the letter.
You are not getting me now. I know that these people are also working with the state government. The question I'm asking you here is that between, say I started 1990 something, and I spent 10 years, not 18 years, and I did not retire at July 1st. That's a full right that government promise is going to leave up to 2008. Who requests for that? And where do you request for it? You write to me or you write to pension office to get the accrued right?
You write to the pension office to give accrued right. And let me just tell you why accrued right is being paid at the federal government level. If they are retiring this year, they will do what is called verification. So state will do verification for those who will be retiring this year. During the verification, they will submit all documents to Bureau of Local Government Pension or Bureau of State Pension. Those people will calculate the outstanding by themselves. The accrued right is just a paper telling us it's a document, an instrument giving you. They will send it to your PFA. So to be credited to your RSA, because they do it every year, day in, day out for federal government worker. Their one is coming up next month again. They will do it for those who will be retiring next year. So they calculate it, and it's a thing you don't need to force them to do. They know they have to do it because they know their workers are going next week or next year. So they do that. And that is what they are doing at the point. Show your face, operation, show your face, bring your document, how many years have you spent, they will also bring your promotion letter to see the progress, how you have been promoted. That's what they use to do the calculation, and they give it as bond. Yes, thank you. They give it as bond at federal government level. At state government level, we don't know how they want to, but it could be bond, but it will be instrument. They will just mention the instrument to us. Sir,
I'm listening to you.
So the annuity you were talking about, yeah, it is not as if it's totally bad in its entirety. We have some people who live like Methuselah. We have people who are 100 years, they are still alive. And if you go to Sokoto, you see them. So you can't condemn it. But if they want to buy it, they buy it.
She's not condemning it. Only allow them to take decisions.
I have never condemned it. What I was saying is that for we to be able to be on a clearer space, this is the difference between this and this. Mr. Museda, I never condemned.
There's one question for you. You have talked about the annuity, and that those all will invest our money. And I trying to, I think I'm going to invest the money on my behalf. I should know how much is going to me from that investment.
Okay, on a monthly basis, it is open to an investment. We have variable incomes where this pool of fund is pushed to. And from our statement, we can always read where we have the gain and loss. If there is loss, you'll see. If there is gain, you'll see. Now, talking about other investment, I can beat our chest. No PFA is doing lower than 15%. Let me put it that way. One, I have contributed like 3M. Now, going to the PFA's aspect by calculating or checking what we have on that statement, you'll see a portion where we have gain or loss. The gain is always higher than the net contributions. Is always higher than the net contribution for you to know if your PFA is really doing right.
Okay, I also have a question. Then after that, I will open the floor. You say that if I retired at the age of 50 years, but now I'm still at work up to 70 years, and I'll be allowed, as I'm working, to get 25% of my money from that money given to you, which you can then deduct for my money in future.
Okay, the only aspect where you can access the 25% while still working is what we call the 25% mortgage loan. That's the only access you can. We have the 25% mortgage loan that is in existence now. If we want to access, but on one condition, your total contribution must be above 4 million plus. Hello? Hello? I know it's very funny, but truth be told, between myself and you, getting 25% mortgage loan, you know, for you to be able to have a house in Nigeria as we speak, out of 3 or 4 million plus, what will be the 25%, please, by our own calculation? 1 million. Can we get a house of 1 million? No. So it will be better for us, like for those that will be living. Okay, let me put it this way. If the contribution is coming in as I went to you again, those are the yardsticks. If the contribution is coming in on a monthly basis, you did not default on a particular month, your contribution is coming in on a monthly basis, and you are not living in the next 2 years, you can have access to the 25% mortgage loan, sir.
Okay, the law says that the University Level Act 2012 says that I quote, that the professors who have served the university for 15 years and attained the age of 70 before retirement shall collect the salary for life. So what is the essence of contributory pension? If I'm going to collect the salary for life.
Yeah, whatever you contribute will be refunded. And let me also say this. It is the employer that determines retirement age. So if the federal government says they retire, the judges, they are not in this. So once they say you are not there, they will give you will be refunded, they will be refunded, and federal government will continue paying them if there is gazette for it.
Don't mix it up. I'm not talking about gazette. There's a law. It's already gazetted.
Yes,
the president of the Federal Republic have signed it to law.
They will be refunded, sir.
Now, as a professor, when I retire, I will take my salary for life. Abi, I can show you the copy of the law. Now, the question I'm asking, why do I need to do contributory pension since I'm going to collect my salary for life? It's a law.
Once it is law, they will be refunded. It's like
all the
money with the PFP
that I've already paid
with interest will be refunded
back to me. So for what then happen between that, how are they going to implement my own pension?
Yes. So let me just tell you. Don't forget it is employer contributions, sir. They will collect your statement of accounts. They will collect statement of accounts. They will go and do their needful at the Department of Statistics or whoever that is in charge of that. They will deduct their own contribution because that contribution is not only meant for the professor. It is employer. Ogun State is doing it like we are talking now. Those who are refunding, they collect their statement of account. They remove their own part of the contribution from what they are paying them as final or whatever. So it's the same thing.
And they are not returning back to me also. I'm not returning back to you. That money.
I don't know. But what they do at the state, we are telling you, we are all here. Before they are cleared, they will ask us to bring us statement of account.
Standing on the statistical
So please stand very well.
Yeah. So my name is Odeluga Bukola. I work with Power Pensions. So like my colleagues has already said, you know, before the commencement of this pension scheme, those that are retired before July 1st, 2025, government believe that they are not part of this pension scheme again. At the point, Ogun State government said anybody that will retire before 2nd of July 2025, they should not be deducting their money again. So government is not deducting their money. I don't know if it's applicable here. But for Ogun State workers,
Nobody will be here if I retire by 2nd of July. I mean to go see.
Yeah, that's what I'm
saying. People that are here now.
Yeah.
We are not getting this point too.
Okay.
What we are talking about here, that we have people, you see, in academics,
yeah,
unlike what we have in the civil service, where either you have 35 years working experience or 60, whichever one that comes first.
Yeah.
In academics, you can be here for 50 years.
Yes.
And you still retire at 70.
Yes.
Now, my question is this. This set of people have been doing contributory pension.
Okay.
And the law says that when I get to 70,
okay,
and I fulfill my own part of the law,
okay,
as a professor, I will get my money for life. Now, what the question I'm now asking is that what happened to the contributory pension that I'm doing if the law has already said I will get my salary for life?
Okay, so now answer to your question. Let's assume this pension scheme that you are doing now, as of today you've not qualified to that law, and you have 15 million naira, and you have, let's say you have 100 million naira in that your account. That 100 million naira, is it only yours? No. That means government contributed 50 million and you also contributed 50 million. Do you get it? Yes. Now, so at the point of retirement, because you are now qualified based on that law, because you are a professor and you are above 70 years and you are qualified, that means government wants to pay you your last salary till death. That is it. Government is going to pay you from his own purse your last salary till death. So now the money you are having with all the PFA, government is going to take his own 50 million naira.
what I'm asking you is that since I know I'm already professor, and I know that I'm going to retire at 70,
Yes.
why do I do contributory pension?
Because
Why?
not everybody that will be qualified.
Not everybody.
It's not everybody. It's not all professors that will be qualified.
How?
So the reason why
explain that one. Let them know. What
the
are
reason why everybody will not be qualified is this. Anything can happen. You might travel out, death might come in. So, and it is a law. That means you have not qualified for that program. So it was only when you are qualified for that program, that is when they will say, okay, stop his contributory pension scheme. He has qualified to get.
If I'm thinking of absence in between, am I still qualified?
I don't know that it's I don't know about leave of absence, but in as much as you are very technical.
But when I was told before, that's why I'm asking all this question, because I know the professors I have their own antecedent.
Yeah.
What we were told before was that when I do my contributory pension and I'm going to retire at 70, when they calculate whatever I've already done, that will make me to get the my salary, my last payment for life.
For life.
Government will then augment it and add it as our pay. But I felt that that is actually wrong interpretation, because the law did not say that. And that's why I'm asking that question. You know, some people are here that did not, because of that law, that said professors who want their salary for life if they retire at 70, refuse to join. Because they are acting on that law.
Yeah.
But the law says that once I'm a professor and I'm going to retire at 70, and when I retire at 70, I get my money for life.
So now, for the professors, they said once you are 70 years, but there is a clause. That's why I said, if that person qualified, there is a clause. That means that person must have been a professor for 15 years. That's the law. We can read it. We can go back to the law.
You see, what we are talking about, some of us have the law. I can quote it offhand.
Okay.
I might not know book, but when they come to that kind of thing, I'll pay my money.
Okay.
I know that law. What the law says is this: a staff, an academic staff, they use that word, an academic staff who have worked in the university system for 15 years, attain a position of professor and retire at 70, shall earn the salary for life. Okay? That is one. The second one is that when a professor is appointed, if an academic staff is appointed as a professor, he needs to be a professor for 20 years before he's qualified. The two are not the same. And what it means is that as a vice chancellor, I want to employ an academic staff, and I appointed that person as a professor today. That person must be able to spend 20 years before he can enjoy that. The law has already made it clear, because I cannot employ a fresh staff if it's more than 50 years of age. The law has already banned me from employing anybody that is more than 50 years of age, either it is academic staff or not. So if I'm going to take a professor who, freshly, that person is a senior lecturer, is coming from abroad, is coming from private or anywhere, and then is coming to the system, that individual, if it's 50 plus 1 day, I can't employ that person. So what they imply is that if that individual have been employed at the age of 50, if we have 20 plus 6 before he retire, that's the service. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Now, but let me allow my people, that's the only question I've already written here for you before you came.
Okay.
So, is there anybody that has question?
Sorry, please. Before question, sir.
Okay.
I just want to say this. I know we have a lot of questions, but the truth is, based on Ogun State government, this contributory pension scheme has come to stay.
We are not doubting it.
We are not doubting it. I just want to make it clear to everyone. So now, in the old pension scheme, when we retire, we get our gratuity and we get a monthly pension. And we are aware that probably if I retire at this age or at this level, this is what I'm going to get as a gratuity, and this is what I'm going to get as my monthly pension. Be on the same level, we might be on the same cadre, and at the point of retirement, your junior worker, your junior colleagues can earn more than you based on this new contributory pension scheme. So now, that is why I want to employ you to pay attention to your pension scheme, to this new pension scheme. Pay attention to your pension account. What I mean is this. As of today, there are some people that have maybe 4 million, 5 million naira in their accounts. And they are junior workers. And at the same time, there are people that are senior workers and they have 1 million or 2 million naira in their accounts. Which is the truth. So now, if the government, if the school is remitting to the accounts and you are not getting alerts, and they are calling for seminars like this, and in fact, what's the useful? I'm not coming. I don't have time. You are not paying attention to your scheme, to this pension. Then at the point of retirement, you'll be on your own. Because now, this is how this pension scheme works. The government is deducting from your salary, the school is deducting from your salary, and the school is also adding the same amount. So now, the school is adding 10%, they are deducting 8% from your salary. That's 18%. So let's say at the end of the month, what comes into my account is 100,000 naira every month. And if my friend here too, 100,000 naira is coming to his account. Now, because of my own negligence and not paying attention to my pension account, the school is not remitting my own, and the school is remitting its own. So that means the interest will be different, because when your 100,000 naira comes in, it will come, we are going to divide it by the unit price as at that day. So if the unit price as at that day is 1 naira, so that means it's 100,000 naira will be divided by 1 naira. So that means it's having 100,000 units as at that day. Now, in my own case, I don't care, I don't have time, and maybe after 10 years or at the point of retirement, that is when I now realize that, because at the point of retirement, we are going to do reconciliation. That is when we now bring the person, the statement of account, like Ogun State government now, they send us the list of people that retire between now and next 5 years. That's those that retire by July 2030. They send the list of those that are going to retire to us. They want their statement of accounts, which they give us deadline and we presented to them. So they gave us deadline. So that means they are not going to check the statement of accounts. How many months are we supposed to pay? Okay, we are supposed to pay 50 months. Now, everybody is supposed to have 50 months. They will now be saying, okay, this one has 20 months. That means we are owing him 30 months. This one, 40. That means we are owing him 10 months. So that is when the government will now do reconciliation and pay the arrears of all those money that they paid. Fine, we still have an opportunity. Ogun State government said the remittance they've not made, those outstanding, they are going to pay it with interest. But effective from this 2nd of July, they are not paying with interest again. Yes, now, because they have now asked us to enlighten you and pay attention to your pension. So this time around, it is not Ogun State government that is not remitting. It is not Olabisi Onabanjo that is not remitting. You are the one that is not paying attention to your pension. So effective from 2nd of July, there won't be interest or profit again. So that's why I'm employing us to pay attention to our pension. Now, the issue is now, at the point of retirement, that is when they want to pay the my own 100,000 naira. And the unit price has gone to 10 naira. So that means when they pay my own 10 naira, my own 10 naira will be divided by, my own 100,000 naira will be divided by 10 naira. So that means I'm having less number of units. That means I'm having 10,000 units. So now, myself and my friend here, we now retire the same day. And the unit price is now maybe 20 naira. So what we have, it will now be is 100,000 units times 20 naira. That's the value he is going to get. And my own will now be 10,000 times 20 naira. So that's why I said we might be on the same level, but we are not going to get the same balance as at point of retirement. We may not get the same pension. We may not get the same lump sum. So that's why. And how do we pay attention to this our pension scheme? Now, when the school make a remittance and your PFA send alert, you do not receive alert the first month. The first thing to do is go to your PFA, go to their app. All PFA have app on their system, on their site or Google Play Store. Go to their site, download all the app, log in, check, because at times because of network you may not see the alert. Check, did my money comes in this month? And if you do not see it, you ask your colleague, Mr. Ojo, have you seen your alert for last month? He said, I've seen it. Me, I did not see. Then the next thing is, you call your PFA. What happened? I did not see my alert. The PFA will check their state with their own hand. If it's not there, then you go to the depository department, the pension desk officer. That pension desk officer will now help you to check, did we remit for him or we didn't. Then if the school did not remit, that is when you now follow up with the school so that the school can remit the money to your PFA. There are a lot of seminars, there are a lot of opportunities that the PFA will be bringing. Attend seminars, attend workshops. When you see your PFA coming, ask questions. These are ways to monitor our pension and see that, okay, I'm in line with my pension and my future is secure. Thank you.
Okay, so can we start the question now? Please let us have the rule of the game. The first rule of the game is that if somebody has asked that question, please don't repeat it. And then you don't need to raise up a hand and say, part of what I want to say I've been said. You don't need to answer that again. So start with person who hear me. And then I will come this way and tell you go by road. Don't worry, after that I'll come to Rally. So don't worry, I will pick everybody. On that side, how many people want to speak? Okay, after person who hear me, they will come to the middle one, and then we'll come here, and then come to that. Yes, Paul.
Yes, thank you, the FVC, and our guests in the house. You are all welcome. I think I can, to some extent, speak on behalf of Nupeco. That's the company I'm very much familiar with. And I think the focus from the perspective of the VC, which is correct, is mainly on those who will retire at 70. I mean, from what I gathered about those who are agitated mostly. And some of them have actually put their agitations across at different fora. First, let me say that with due respect to other PFAs, there was a platform that was created to clarify all ambiguities about what you get when you retire as a professor. So, pardon me if I focus mainly on professors. There was a platform that was created. I know Nupeco and Pencom collaborated to create that platform. And there was a document that was circulated after that. If our professors, our senior colleagues in the House, if they have not received that document, I think they should liaise with the leadership of the union. I think they still have the document. Or if they don't have, I volunteer to make it available. That's the first information. The second information is that for all of us, and especially again the professors, we need to study the circular that was released in 2017. Incidentally, I as the messenger of the union, NASU, I circulated that circular to our branches. That circular has spelled out all the issues concerning how professors will access their funds, those who are qualified to get their entitlements before the commencement of contributing pension in 2004. I want to say that as of today, the PAMSECs at both federal and state government levels, they are enjoying this thing. The PAMSEC, once they retire, they get their full salaries. I know the struggles the union has been waiting to get this provision implemented. Ironically, we went on strike in 2017 to get that circular out. We went on strike to get that circular out. But lo and behold, the PAMSEC immediately cornered the circular to themselves and they activated the provisions. Up till now, our professors are still struggling to get their entitlements. Where is that leading me? I want to say, with due respect, sir, that our unions on campuses, yes, they have said you should take interest in your pension issues, monitor your RSA account and so on and so forth. But beyond that, there are issues that we need to aggregate. I know our comrade VC here, he once championed this discussion. Sorry, I came late because I just came back from Abuja. Sorry. I said I must be here. I didn't even know the people would not be here. And I don't feel happy that they are not here. Oh, okay. All right. So, yes, what I'm saying.
Well, you are right. It's as good as not be here. Because you have not said anything. So please continue, Prof.
Yes, so what I'm saying in effect is that there are issues that we need to aggregate. And don't forget that if I want to go back to history, the history of contributing pension, when ASU negotiated the federal government between 2006 and 2009, we said academics in particular, pardon me, and other unions also said the same thing, that we should be left out of contributing pension. But after much persuasion, we went back and said, well, let us now put it in the agreement that there must be a dedicated pension scheme, PFA, for the universities. And that is what we have achieved. But to implement that again is a struggle. Struggle at different levels. For us in OU, as they call us, for us here, our union leaders need to work extra hard because the narratives we are getting they are not really favorable. For instance, this recent development in the state, if not for these other unions that fought for this restoration of their accrued rights and other things, maybe we will not be getting the result we are getting. But at the level of this university in particular, we have issues that we need to actually come up with and push as a union. How do I mean? Now, I saw a gap. Somebody has worked here for 28 years. You are saying this person should retire before the provision for earning your salary for life can be implemented for him or her. But this person still has like 7 years to go. Is the system not going to lose those categories of people? But if that person chooses to stay on, what happens? Now I've contributed 5 years as a subscriber to CPS, Contributory Pension Scheme. You are saying that if I had not retired by July 1st, I'm now entitled to state government paying my pension for life. And what I have in my account, maybe at the end of those 5 years that I have left, will just be 5 million. What do I do with that? So, the law that informed this, I know if there is pressure, can still be tinkered with to accommodate people. Because what they did at the level of the federal government was I think they have something they call, was it Peter, a transition office till you retire. A transition office is created. What you earn or what you should have earned over time, you will get and will be transferred to your PFA. The way we are looking at it, particularly at the level of ASU, is that by the time someone is retiring, government, state or federal, and that is what they are doing in federal, if you have not retired before 2004, the number of years for which you have worked, what you are entitled to, government will calculate and transfer to your PFA. Why can't we do that in this state? Why can't we do that in this university? Even if I have 5 years or 4 years or 3 years to go, and I say that don't push me into compulsory retirement because that is punishment. Why must I retire before July 1st? So, for me and for the union, we should not allow that to happen to our members because it's a denial of rights. If I've chosen to work till I'm 70, why should you force me to retire at 60, even 69? Why? So, what I'm saying in essence is that I know there was a time ASU OOU was going to set up a team that will study all these lacunae, the gaps, and come up with a position that will articulate. I believe some state universities are already doing that. And if we put such paper together, as a union, we can get government to give us that transitional window. We need that transitional window in which government will agree that till you retire, you can remain in service. When you are 70, we know when this is effective. Although they will say they will draw a line. They have drawn a line, but for those who have less than 10 years, why are you saying they must go before they are 70? So, The summary of my submissions are 2, 3. 1, our unions will have to assist our members. We need to aggregate issues and we need to critically interrogate them. And how do we do that? We look at the various documents and we bring out proposals that we want to push at the government level. 2, we need to engage the legislators. If the law is the barrier, how do they do it at the federal level? We need to study that and we need to key into that. And thirdly, all of us, we need to be further educated on the existing documents. And finally, concerning these 20 years, 15 years, Honorable VC, you are correct to say if you have worked in the university for at least 20 years, even if you become a professor today, you will go with your salary. I thank you very much for the opportunity.
Okay, we'll take it this way. That. Okay, no.
Yes, good afternoon, my VC, the principal officers, professors. Good afternoon, sirs and ma'ams. Please, I want to just ask a question. And that this is based on my experience with this issue from where I came from and what I'm hearing here. Now, how do PFAs ensure compliance with payment? Because this has been an issue. I currently have about 4 years of my pension that has been deducted from somewhere I work for. Till today, I've not gotten it. I've tried to access my PFA to help me, but they have not helped me for now. I don't want to mention so that I will not demarket. So what are you doing to help us do that? Because if we are struggling to follow up with this, it is not an issue. But when there is default, how do you help us with this? And sir, you mentioned something, sir, VC, I just want to get clarification. For us as staff of OOU, who pays our pension? Is it OOU as an institution or Ogun State government? Because I was trying to ask the last time, and somebody was telling me that something is passed down, and things, but you mentioned something about passing our files down to the state and things like that. So I want just clarification on that. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Otoba. Is there another person on that road before I move to the next one?
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
My own question is about accrued rights. What happens if I retire today and the state government refuse to pay the accrued rights? Will I still be able to get my pension? Because I asked one of the PFA and he said if the government didn't pay that accrued right, I won't get shishi. I will not get anything. I just want you to clarify that, please.
Okay, can we go, take that man, go down. And so stay there. Give it to the man in time.
When we started, my name is Isaac Watt. When we started this pension issue, they explained to us, because pension managers came to this university to enlighten us. They told us, when you are not convenient with the first pension manager that you pick, you can switch to any other one of your choice. But along the line, I discovered that the first one that I picked, without my knowledge, transferred it to another person, to another one. I wanted to transfer my own to this new one for university. I filled a form, Nothing was done. I went to them in Abeokuta. They told me that the state that they have given them a word that they should not transfer, they should not change any pension manager. Then I would like them to explain that, because I don't know how they managed to change the law. Thank you, sir.
Don't worry, I'll come to this side. Let's finish this line. Go down, the brother that see, and then I can see somebody beside person that see there, so that we can solve the matter, and then move to this here.
Okay, thank you very much, BC, and I want to really appreciate this intervention. But I think this intervention is probably the first call. And I'm saying this because a lot of the presentations today are actually presentations that we have had at the general level. The new introduction now appears to be the position of the state government with respect to the pension scheme, the new dates, and what happens thereafter. And I think that really should be our major concern. Some of the aspects that had to do with the retirement bond, that's the pension and gratuity, has been very clearly spelled out in that scheme. But my worries are, we see, and our guest, is that that law states that, and that's what Obuse government is also trying to say now, that when you migrate to the contributory pension scheme, at that point of migration, your retirement bond, that is your pension and gratuity up to the time that you migrate to the contributory pension scheme, will now be transferred to your retirement savings account at retirement. And that's my concern. And that is what I think we really need to fight as unions, like Professor Obiyemi said. Because if it is at retirement, and if you remember, if you follow this thing, the PFAs are going to invest what you have contributed. And it is also the years of contribution and your total balance and all that, that also determines what would have accrued to you over those years. Now, why is it that it is at the point of retirement that those things will now be given to the PFAs? Now, if I'm retiring today, now let's by the scheme, I'm supposed to be retiring maybe in another 10 or so years, or 12 years. Now, why is it not possible to calculate that my retirement bond now and give it to my PFA if I'm going to now start determining my future from now on by contributing into that scheme? So that's my concern. Why should it be when I'm retiring? Why can it not be when I transit to that scheme, so that my fund, my retirement bond, would have had the opportunity of being invested by the PFAs and would have earned something beyond what I'll get. So those are the areas that I feel we really need to look at. But my visitor, I think this interaction, like I said, is just a first call. I think seriously, all of us need to go and sit down and study in details all this presentation. Now, if you go online to Pencom site, they have this document they call frequently asked questions. about the contributory pension scheme. Everything that has been presented here today is right in that document, and even more. So I think we need to really study this thing and then get out the gray areas and then have this kind of interaction, probably even more with Ogun State government operatives. It has to be expanded. These are pension fund administrators, and I can understand the way they are doing the weeding. You know, you have a hole, you are not going to weed away from you. So I think we need to then have another set of interaction. I will plead with the VC to please help us facilitate interaction with the operative at the level of Ogun State government. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chancellor, for this opportunity. While the presentation was made, one of the speakers said that the employer's deduction, the 10%, will be done by the university. I believe that that's probably because the university is responsible for paying maybe the larger percentage of her salary contribution. But if that is the case, thank God we have a friendly management now that takes our salary serious. We could also have a management. We've had management in the past too. Not that they didn't take our salary serious, but they couldn't just pay us at Wendy. And we are aware that in the time past, even cooperatives have been honed their contributions, not because they don't want to pay, but because of some certain factors. So, and we have heard that once there is a defect or non-payment by the employers, of course it will affect whatever is being contributed. So if it is management from the submission of those presenters that will be responsible for the payment of the 10%, maybe management will have to prepare a paper for council so that it becomes a law. In terms of remittance, the first stage should be that contribution to be deducted without excuses for whatever management we have in place. And there may be contribution to our cooperative, because that's also another lifeline that should be taken away from us, and before any other deductions are made. That's the first thing I want to say. So no management will come and say because there is no money they couldn't pay the counterpart contribution. Also, I also believed from the presentation that we have three categories. Those who are already on that contribution scheme, those who stopped, those who are still on it as we speak, and of course those who have not even started at all. And I heard one of the presenters saying that they have discussed with the boss and agreed that they will solve the problem of those who are retired now, those who will retire in the next 1 year, and those who are already retired. I think there is a problem, we should solve it holistically, not in piecemeal. I don't think it would be nice to solve a problem where problems are still existing. I think we should have a holistic view of resolving these issues. Thank you.
I'll pass that place. I will come back here. You are there when I ask people to raise up their hand. I have that the last person there. Yes.
Thank you, sir. I want to ask that when one of the speakers was speaking, he said contributors should actually follow up with the payment being made into their account and all that. And when that was said, the Rashid Maina case came to mind. That's where is that money going to? It should be automatic. If my salary comes to me every month, automatically. So the deductions should be made automatically. And I've had cases of, my contributions not being sent to me for months, maybe 2-3 months or thereabouts, and then another month I will just receive an alert that, well, this is what you are getting. And then another question is, when I check my mail for my pension stuff, my PFA, there is this RSA fund prices. So it means the PFA invests some of this money into shares, because I will see that, for so number of days, this is what price you can get for this and all that.
Dr. Ashalu, they are doing us back. Maybe you came late. They have explained all those things.
All right.
They've not lied that they have invested. They even told you that the minimum is 15%. They said it there. So go to this middle one. Start from the back. Yes. No, there's one person at the back there.
Over 100 months that should be paid by an employer for me that I don't agree. When this is paid, the interest is paid alongside, as the state government has promised to do with their workers. Because now that I don't know whether the state is paying or who is paying. When all the obligated ones for us to be paid, the co-owners be paid, the interest is actually what is going on with. From 2 naira 2008 and 15 naira today. So it is at the last day that you now pay me what you have paid 2008 when I'm going, then I'm shocking. So the question still is, will only be paying interest on all the obligated ones when eventually we will pay? Thank you.
Professor Nasir has actually attended to mine.
Sorry, pass the time to the next person.
By the time we wanted to start this our journey of PFA, there was really much. The time we wanted to start this our journey.
Okay, I'll ask your question. Don't go to issue.
Okay, my question is that they said anybody that has spent more than what you think on professional accident that will be benefited on anything with 25% of their loan or whatever.
They did not mention, no principal must say out. They did not have professional case out. They didn't say something, anything of that nature, please.
Sir, like they said, anybody...
Don't say what they did not say, that's what I'm telling you. What I tell you, they did not say it. Ask your question directly, don't quote what they did not say.
Okay, my question is that what will be our stand or our faith after going maybe tomorrow or next tomorrow, that we will have something from these people and they will continue to tell us go this, go that. If our contribution or pension something go up today, if you come down tomorrow, there's no specific figure. What I'm saying is usually apply to others.
Okay, are you going here where they were doing all the stories here?
Yeah, what I'm saying is that
correct me from him, you see this one here. They've already explained all those details that you are asking. How you are going to be paid? They told you here when you are leaving.
Thank you very much, my Chancellor. Well, I work with Shagam as a mentor. There was a lot of posts by the pension staffs. If somebody is employed to be posting my deductions, the responsibility between the person you owe you and you is you to ensure that that money is posted. You don't expect you to be running after any money. If anything happens to you, it's your responsibility and you must stand for it. Thank you very much.
My questions are, what happened to employers' contributions paid on behalf of Ogun State government by OOU management from 2009 to 2019, since they said the Ogun State government is going to pay back the money? Will the Ogun State government refund the money back to OOU because the OOU have been paying this money as counterpart on behalf of the state government? That's number one question. Number two is that why are the other civil
They can't answer that question because they don't know what is going on between the state government and OOU.
Why are the other civil servants like local government staff and teachers receiving more pension than us at retirement?
Don't worry, they can't answer that question. I will answer it myself here.
My next question, sir. Clear out doubts about why they are not being treated the same way with our other civil servants in the Ogun State Civil Service.
Back the man.
Sorry, sir. Finally, sir.
You want the question to ask? They can't answer it.
Okay, sir.
They don't ask the question on this PFA thing.
Okay, sir.
But all those what we are talking about, they don't know anything about it.
Okay, sir. Finally, tell us your commission on program benefit. You said if I will transfer my money to insurance and retirement, they are going to collect 3%. But you didn't tell me your commission if I will remain with you 10%.
That is personal now. That should not be here. They are not selling any product here. They are not selling anybody's product. Yes. It seems, hello, my dear colleagues, it seems we are making this thing, we are not being addressing the question the way it is. I want to plead with every one of us, ask question on this, not anything personal. You know, we want something that everybody can benefit from. Yes, give it to,
yes.
Okay, Lega. After that, you come to that Taiwo. Okay.
Thank you very much, sir.
No, that line, don't worry. You call the two of you, and then Dr. Lee.
I just want to ask to gender in respect of whatever deductions or payments. That is something that you should look into. If you have a practice or a policy that does that, then definitely you must look into it and ensure that that is correct. That's just my own conclusion.
No, I like that. We are talking about point of law now. Are you saying that?
It's not constitutional, sir.
It's not constitutional.
Okay.
Section 42
that says that it must not, there must not be any outer of discrimination, any index of discrimination in respect of that. If that policy, then they must look into it because there will be a day that someone will take this up and want you to do that. Anyway,
and that's what people are going. Nobody to come and ask me any question after today. I'm saying my own now. Because we start coming back and start asking questions. If you want to go, I don't ask you to go. But don't come and ask me questions, I will answer you.
Thank you, sir. I have two things to say. The first one is a request. And the request is that, sir, I want this, it's an appeal, that this kind of gathering, sir, don't let it be once and for all. I want us to let it be a continuous something where we'll be getting more funds, because it's like you are on top of this thing. I can see from all the explanation you have given, correlated to the what Professor Oyemi have said, and God bless you, sir. The second one is that my question goes to the man in yellow t-shirt. When he was explaining, he made mention of annuity and the second one that has to do with lump sum. In his explanation, he said 25% will be removed, and that 25%, who owns it? Where does it go to? That's my question. Thank you, sir.
My question is...
No, they can answer that one straight away. That 25% is for you. That's why they call it lump sum. But you have some criteria which they also explain before they can give you that lump sum. So you can beat your chest, don't worry. That money is for you. Yes, Pastor.
My question is on a situation of transfer of service. Assuming when I was with an employer, I was subscribing to a particular pension scheme. And now that I find myself, by virtue of transfer of service, in another employment, how do I migrate? How do I transfer my investment in the former pension scheme to a new one that I want to subscribe to? And then what happens to all the years that I've spent in the new employment without that particular place of work remitting my pension as when due? Thank you.
That one is not a difficult thing, my brother. If you are with the state government before, as a teacher, and you are now a lecturer, you are still under the same state government. So to transfer from that to here, not the way you transfer your service, that's the same way they are going to transfer everything to your PFP. I don't think that is difficult. Yes, but Dr. Olomo.
Thank you very much, sir. One of the presenters talked about unit value, by which the total take home at retirement will be calculated. I want to find out who determines the value, that unit value, and what determines it. Does it have to, is it static or it is dynamic? Yes, sir.
Were you with us when we started? Eh?
I was.
When you are here, then you are not listening, because that is what that was why they go to the one that is it Dr. Kolawole now was saying that you don't have gender in the law. They mentioned in your last payment, they discuss all those details of how you are going to be paid. Your unit, what to determine that unit payment you are going to be getting. They discuss all that. Yes, Dr. Prof. Adenimo.
Thank you very much, sir. The Vice Chancellor, the High Table, and all protocols observed. My question is to the lady there. You made a statement. You said that you are a money lover. But I can see that from all your presentation, that money loving is one-sided. And from what Professor Ogunyemi said, I can see an oppressive system in what you have presented, whether on the part of the PFA or on the part of the insurance. I'm not, in any way being derogatory, but that's the truth of what has happened. I know you have to be paid too. So, sir, to the Vice Chancellor, sir, how do we mitigate somebody who paid when we started the pension fund, who paid maybe the total amount was maybe 10,000 in a month, and the value of that 10,000 naira in 2008 can take you on a journey to the US. But today you are retiring, and that money that they are giving you, the totality of everything, cannot buy the same ticket. How do we mitigate that? Thank you, sir.
Prof, I don't think we should castigate them. If they are only talking about it, I'm talking to me myself. That law, that diversity millennials act, when you talk about pension, we enslave ourselves. And it's a fact. But I cannot go into those details now because if somebody has spent 25 years, I've used all my life struggle to serve this country up to the age of 70. How many people live beyond 80? But if I retire at 50, I will enjoy myself at 80. But I continue to work till 70. How many people can work very well before they get to 70? Work as a man up to 70. And I continue to go to class, continue to do all this research and do all these things, and serving this nation till I get to 70. And yet, there are so many things there which you cannot be discussing today, because they have to do with the law. Law has been made. We need to obey the law. What we can fight for is the amendment of the law. If that law is amended today, then we have laxity. The PFA will only implement the law. They can't say anything. I've been to them to assembly on this matter. And we have looked at it and said together. It's not about the law. So, and we have the lawyers there, which will be able to tell us more. Dr. Lee, and I see Professor, okay. Don't let me say the name I call him, because I'm the only one that can say call him that name, Dr. Nitola. Okay, so after that, you go to the last group here. Yes, Dr. Lee.
Thank you very much, sir, for the opportunity. I first want to ask the VC sir, when you started out, you said that the discussion are divided into two, that we will dialogue with the representative of the PFAs and that we also have an internal dialogue. I have questions that I want to ask the management that you heard, and I also have questions for them. So I don't know whether that opportunity will still come for me to ask my questions when we are.
No, ask the question. But we see like I said, when we are going to take decision, they are not likely to be here because it's not a concern there. After question and answer, anyone that concerned them, you can ask them. So after that, we will hold our own meeting. There are some things that we need to do. You know, like I always say, I'm like a dog. I see the inside and outside. People can say all sorts of things about the management. It's easy to pass ball. Your own responsibility to do it. They don't do that well. So let's ask them their own question and then we'll go to the next stage.
I will pick from what all of them were saying, all the four who are on the podium now. You refer to the 1st of July of this year, 2025, as the cutoff for the implementation of the defined benefit scheme. Do I get it right? Now, I want to ask, if that is also what the state government is implementing, and also you as PFAs, are you implementing that based on a circular from the government or a law that has been properly passed? The reason why I'm asking this is that I am aware that a circular that makes the cutoff period to be 2017 is in existence. When the other one that has shifted it to 2025 is being implemented now, is it still a circular or a law? And the reason why this is pertinent is because pensions matters are in the exclusive legislative list of the 1999 Constitution. And the only body that can legislate on it is the National Assembly. What they have done, they did first in 2004, and they also 10 years down the line, they also did the Pension Reforms Act. So if there is another law on that, one, it will be a legislative impertinence on the part of any state government if it tries to do that. Number two, it will then mean that whatever law that they are now putting in place will then contradict the federal act. And to that extent too, it cannot stand. So I want clarity on that to say, is it a circular that is explaining it or a law that the Ogun State House of Assembly has passed? Number two is that in the law that I am familiar with, that is the Pension Reforms Act of 2014. I have a copy in my bag here. The prerogative to appoint a PFA rests with the employee, meaning that the employee is the appointer of the PFA. And to that extent, the appointee cannot arrogate more power to itself than the appointer. Why then are you people shaving our heads behind our backs? You will meet with the government, you will put up policies that run contrary to the interests of your appointers. And when an appointer decides to say, I'm not getting full returns from what this appointee is doing, you make everything difficult for an appointer to migrate from your stable to another preferred fund administrator. So, and that one rests with you. Why are you putting bulwarks, roadblocks? Why are you putting it before us and you are fettering our right to choose who we want to do? The law has said when you stay with somebody for 2 years, you are free to migrate. But at every point, you begin to stall. You stall to say, well, you can't get a better thing. Leave the appointer to determine who he will get a better deal with. Now, madam, you said that the money, when the VC asked, if you could...
Not only, don't personal. I know the person. I know this is very
yes. Excuse me, sir. There are two issues that is legally acclaimed. The issue of promotion and the issue of pension is personal.
It is to the person who feels is ready to put himself up for promotion that will say it. It is also a person who will feel the pinch when he leaves the system and knows what is there for him in front. That is why it says that there are some other internal things. There are some level of some leverage that the law has given us, and that I have tried to activate it with the management, but I didn't get my way through. So when they have exited. Yes, sir. Now, Madam said that it is only a mortgage loan that you can take. Honestly, this system is not only oppressive, it's also very burdensome. This is a person who is contributing from his salary. And then the VC asks, is there a point where you can, the contributor, access part of the fund? It's like you telling me, even if you go to banks who are traditional keepers, custodians of money for people, for Nigerians, the worst they can do is to say, if it's a fixed deposit, for this period, you cannot access it. And that one is not even holding any longer. You can access, they will just make sure they deduct their administrative whatever, penalty or whatever. They cannot say you cannot. Why are you leaving the thing to say it is this, it is that? Now, if you say 1 million, that's the cap, or even less, is it not possible? Do I have to call it a mortgage loan? And even if it is a mortgage loan, mortgage is directed towards payment, towards building projects. Suppose I have struggled in the meantime to build my project up to a point, and I just need little money to finish it or to even add to it. Why will you deny me to access to funds that I have in my account to say this is it? Then again, when you are investing on my behalf, you said I have also listened to that. They will say investments, all that by law, and that is a fact, by law, PFAs are supposed to be investing the money. Now, I am your appointer. Is there even any platform where you inform me? This is, do you think that, is there any point in the course of your decision to invest that you have interfaced with the contributor? See, there's no how you can clap with one hand. Apologies to the late MK Abiola. And you cannot shave a man's head behind his back. We are pulling our funds. You are saying you want to invest on our behalf, but you are not telling us what is that thing. You are saying we should go online and then begin to see those things you are. If I go online, like NLPC, sir, NLPC is the PFA. Yes, sir. Let me leave that, sir. Can we please pass the mic to the next person? Please. It's becoming so personal of this one. So I understand how you are feeling. You can meet them. You are the one that appoint them, you can be there and talk to them. But what is general is what we need to talk about. Yes, go.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chancellor. Honestly, this meeting is actually, enlightening, because before now, I don't even know where I belong. Honestly, and I've discussed with some of my colleagues that there are a number of us that doesn't know where we belong. Because sometimes we go, Nupenco came, and some say, do Nupenco, some say, don't do Nupenco. We are all confused. Now, the question I want to ask, sir, is, now, they said, you started employer contribution 2019. Contributed pension starting July 2, 2025, paid by the state government. Now, I said, I don't know where I belong. I know my monies must have been deducted severally in the past. The one that they have deducted, how will I get it? If I'm starting with what the state government is starting July 2, 2025. And if I've not if I don't have anything in the savings there, let me know so that I will know how to work very well before I retire. But if I have before, let us also know, because I have my colleagues there, they are not talking out, so they are here. And I want clear cut about this Nopenco. I think Nopenco, who are they, what exactly are they doing? You know, so that we will know that we are starting on a clean slate and we'll follow through. So that when I'm retiring, I know that I have not worked in vain in OOU. Thank you very much.
Okay. Dr. Lewison, I think that should be all. My dear colleagues, I know all of the questions you asked is something that we will accept the answer. I don't think it's for the PFP, because I can see that it's so touchy, so personal. We will answer those ones. Yes, Dr. Lewison.
Thank you very much, BC, members of the university community. Just a short word before we go to the internal discussion. Just to inform you, as at this weekend, you can confirm from PECOM that mortgage facility, PECOM has suspended it. We have our members that applied. We just came back from ASUNET, from Sokoto, and this is part of the report we got. We have our members, you know, we always test case some of this policy. We tested it, they made applications. When they saw some of these challenges, PECOM had to suspend it. The only thing missing here, you know, we have had this kind of session before at level of ASU. We bought PFC, we bought PFA, we also bought PECOM here. At our level, we still do say to update some of these things. But some of the things I want to appeal to you, I'm also in the finance industry. Some policy things you were saying here has implications, and I want to appeal to you that you need to be wary of some of the things you have said here. I want to appeal seriously. But some of those things are PECOM things. You are PFA, you measure everything. You didn't measure PFCs, pension fund custodians. All this money, they are just 4, am I right, or 5? They are now 3. Yes, all these monies are aggregated and accumulated. All those monies are likely managed by those 3 companies. So that is one key area we must know. Another important thing that we didn't mention is about the funds. Fund 1, Fund 2, Fund 3, Fund 4. The issue of appointor, appointee is provided. Our prof, Nopenco, there are some things Professor William has cleared. We will still discuss at our own level. It's our company, and we took our future into our hands. It's our company. We know that policy. That policy is foisted on us, and we have to find a way around the policy. That's why we have to create that company. The primary aim of that company is to cater for tertiary institution workers, particularly those in the university sector. As I speak, we have a huge number of membership across the country, and we are even extending to workers in the private university sector now. There are some peculiarities. It's when you're on the board that you contribute your money. Fortunately, Professor William is on the board. Our former president is the chairman of the board. It is your money, they have to manage it. We can't give our future to some people. We know how the finance industry works. The history of this policy came in 2004. We knew the company that started this.
Yeah, man, don't be personal.
I'm not personal.
We are becoming personal.
No, I'm not personal. I'm just telling us that we must know for every policy there's a philosophy. We knew when they have started this policy, countries where it has worked, countries where it has failed. We know how our industry works. That's why we need to support our projects. At other levels, we still discuss. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay. Maybe we should just thank our PFAs. Because what I see, I don't let them rest, but let them go. Because I can see, what I see here, my people are already tense. When people start talking about appointee, appointor, so whatever they say again, we phrase you the more. Because they will still go back to reiterating the same thing that you don't want to hear. But there are 2 ways to it, like I said. there are some, when they go, we all agree together how to go about it. I always believe that it's always bottom-up policy. I will also let us see clearly what we have also done that is also not right. Everything will be put on the table. We will all take the decision together on how to solve it. University is based on committee system, and this is part of the committee system. And what they plan is that when 2-3 people sit down and look at issues, they will never fail. Because it's not possible that only one person will be taken. You know, and we have head guests here. We can navigate through it. We can propose the way forward. You know, so just trust us, we will solve the problem. The PFAs, because what is happening here, there are 3 group of people involved. We have the PFA, we have the PFC, and we have the PENCOM. It's only PFA that is here. They can only talk about their own areas. They can't talk about PENCOM. You know, we can't also talk about PFC. So it is better. Why I ask them to come is to come and enlighten us. We will take decision. Our life, you know, and our destiny is in our own hand. If you don't like for PFA, at least you have seen some things you can change. But I will allow them to be coming. We will arrange more meetings. But there are some basic things that before they go, I want us to also take cognizance of that. Your PIN registration is very important, because now they are not collecting the way we have been before. We are using remittance, you know, it's online now. So if we don't have a PIN registration, it will not go there. So people can shout and shout. If we say go and upload and the thing did not go, since we don't have a PIN registration, that will be a problem, because you need to do that. Then they also talk about data recapturing. If you want to move from one PFA to the other, you don't have PIN registration, you don't have data capturing, how are they going to move you? You know, from one area to the other. They will not tell you all those details because they are still helping you to manage. So you need to do your data capturing, you need to do your PIN registration if you have not done that. So please, my dear colleagues, let us ensure that all those things are done. So I'll give them last chance, one person, because of our time.
Thank you very much, sir. In fact, I want to thank you very much, sir. As if you are a custodian of the act, and you are talking as if you are you are a custodian of the act. And thank you very much. Also, I want to say that if we have those who are in actual department here, they can also assist us. Actuaries, they can also assist. They will tell you to factor women into pension. They use age. That particular area is meant for the actuary. They are the one that really put it into the act, so that men, women, we should use the actuaries. Even like I told the boss, when you are doing the calculating the accrued right, you are bringing them in. I think they are coming in. They also enlighten those who think men or women are together. Probably they have the same right. So when they come, you can also ask them that question when they come. Thank you very much, sir. About the funds, sir, variety of funds. Yes, you have variety of funds, but that's not why we are here. Like he said, he has asked us to each PFA will come to meet their customer. They will discuss everything. Okay, is talking about. You are less concerned about custodian or pension here. So that's why we limited that discussion within our own school. Pension Commission did not suspend mortgage house. They suspended this particular 7 mortgage outfit because probably they are finding them wanting in one way or the other. Number 1, Jigawa Savings and Loan, FHA Mortgage Bank, Delta Trust Mortgage Bank, AG Mortgage Bank, Infinity Trust Mortgage Bank, First Trust Mortgage Bank.
I don't want to be called to the hand. There's the Data Protection Act.
Okay, it's a circular to all of us. Okay, all right, okay. Because they said they are aware.
No,
all right,
don't
sir.
go to.
It's okay, sir.
Anything that is not within what we are discussing, please don't go there. I don't want to.
Yeah, I see Nopenko here. I don't know the question asked about Nopenko. Nopenko is not a PFA. Just like we have PFA, we have Crusader, we have. So if you want to join any PFA, you can join any PFA. Nobody, no organization asks you to remain in your PFA, and there is no restriction even in Ogun State.
Why are you leave that one alone?
Okay, pass the question here.
Okay. The majority of them are seated there. Those organizations will fight you. People start saying they should not go to their home. They say they have the board, they control everything on their own. They say you should not go there. They will not listen to you again.
Okay. Is there any, at any point in time that you can access your money while you are still in service? The form you completed is called RSA. That's the form you completed. You completed retirement savings accounts. There are other things you can complete, other form you can complete, like mortgage, like that. But this particular one is meant for retirement, and it is just 8% of your total embezzlement. So you can also do other things that you can borrow money from. Yeah, even before last year, you can't even do mortgage. But you know, as time goes by, as they reform the act, that borrowing might still come in, but for now, like Oga said, it is law, it's an act that for now what you can access is 25% for mortgage, but probably later they can still go for other borrowing. Why can't one decide a PFA? I think I've discussed that. Unit value calculation, it is market that determines it. It is the market. It's like when you go to market today, you see Atarodo 10 naira. Our wife will tell you Atarodo ti won, but at other time you go to market, they will see that Atarodo ti won. You know, it's market. It is demand and supply. We don't even have power over it. It is market. Unit value of so the money lover. Annuity versus program withdrawal. Thank you very much for that observation, ma. We will adjust and. I want to tell, like when I want to conclude, I said you can't really tell us that yes, include them out. Yes, I said that. If someone is also talking about the fact that do we have commission or probably we have commission? No, PFA does not have commission. PFA collects salary. I have a salary earner. He's a salary earner. We are salary earner. But from the money you bring in, I have to tell you that we deduct 100 naira. Because there's commission for the annuity. The question came from annuity. There's commission for them from the total money. If you are taking 10 million to them, 10% of percentage, let's say 5% of it. I don't want to go. Let's say 5% of it we go to. But in the pension, when your 2,500 or 10,000 comes in, 100 naira comes in for some PFA. Some PFA are charging 80 naira. So from if they charge 100 naira, then your tax will be the tax will be percentage of 100 naira. And if
sorry, please sit down. We can't just stand like that and sit here. Please sit down. Hey, we can't have 2 meetings going on simultaneously now. Okay, go and sit down now.
Yeah, the issue of surrounding professor as regard pension retirement benefit, I think it should be like he said. You know, in fact, I like the way he started it that it is in the platform, and that's why at this our phone just go their pension reform act, go their pension reform act 2004. You can read circular, you can read everything guidelines in respect of this thing, and the professor, I know they are not sitting down, they are still pushing, and you know, once it becomes law, nobody will stop it, nobody, and I think they are still on it. How do PFA ensure compliance with payments? Yes, how do we ensure compliance? The pension commission, they have they commission some organization to assist them in going to employer to see that they remit. Those employer, the private organization don't normally default, but government, you know, government appointee to government, so government employ people to go and sanction government worker. So that's why you see by law. It is 7 days after your salary is paid. That is not less than 7 days. But it is by law, by the act. But we now see that it's government worker that will say And who is going to report him to? Is reporting him to government, and nobody is doing anything in that regard. 7 days is there, and it's punishable too. There is punishment for it if you don't pay, and you also pay interest on it when you are paying it. It's clear in the law. It's clear in the law. Okay, yes, Oga, you said they push you to one PFA. No, this is how it works. Pension Commission don't want your money as a retiree. They don't want your money to get lost. Once they see that the PFA is not performing very well, they mark them. That's what happened to you. Not as if they transfer you. No, they don't want your money to just.
Okay, don't go to that one.
Okay, all right, sir. So I think
they have the right to move to anyone they want to move according to the law. Whether in that one is performing well or not, it's not your business.
Okay, sir. Okay. Default payment. Okay, they said that the appointor, that since you have appointed us, once we make your money, we should know, or that is beyond that too. What about if you don't submit your PIN, correct PIN to the BDO? Ask him. Some of us, we think our money has been sent to your PFE, yes, but with wrong PIN. So with wrong PIN. So when they say monitor, I can't know. You cannot know. Probably because you are writing 7, it looks like 1. But they'll send it to your PFA, but your PFA will not credit you. It will be somewhere, not until when that 1 to 7 is corrected. But when they say monitor, does not mean it's asking you to be low. Once you have done it once, now you don't have the issue again because there is a platform. And I want to tell you, a part of the people who have really embraced that platform is an electronic platform. When they make payments and your number is not correct, it won't go at all. So now you don't have the issue of monitoring. The only monitoring there is, like someone is saying it here, another said I should not talk about it. So just know that you monitor your page. I think I've done justice to you. So thank you very much, sir.
My dear colleagues, I think we can give them a round of applause and allow them to go while we move to the one that concerns all of us. Because this pension we are talking about has a lot of implication, and I can even see that one of us have been asking, are we going to pay 50% or not? No, then I also answer that question, are you going to pay back the one that can be paid in error? So all those details are going to say it there. Because if you know your rights, then there's also rights. All the rights, incidentally we are talking to some of us that also know the law. And I will not shortchange anybody. At the same time, I will not allow you to shortchange the university. So if you are claiming your rights, there are also rights that are also accrued somewhere. And I think all of us need to come back and sit down and hear all this. Because if you ask me a question after this, I beg you, I will answer any of you. That's the statement of fact. I will answer. So if you like, you can go, but the truth of the matter is that I will not answer question anymore. Now, we'll go to the next one, which has to do with this question we are talking about. They're talking about the fact that there's some accrued one that the government need to pay. And some of us also talk about the fact that I think the auditor, that why is it that is the 2009 why is the principal animal than us? The facts are very, very obvious why the problem arose. But I will give the mic to Bossa, who will give us the presentation of what the issues are. Again, I will ask them with their staff to tell us the implication of what Bossa has presented on your pension. So that all of us will see clearly where we are. And thereafter, I will also tell us what our work has been done, where we are. And then all of us can now take decision on how to move forward. That area will also help us to navigate those that have been agitating that they have 18 months or not, We also see it clearly today as well. Everything will be done here in the open. So that if you have been deceiving your union or your members, you will all see it part here. And all of us can directly take decision the work we want to do and how we are going to do it. Over to you, Bossa.
The Vice Chancellor and the Principal Officer here present, and my colleague here. Good afternoon once again. Well, the issue of pension cannot be discussed in isolation without talking about the salaries. And there is this issue with pension at the beginning that our staff are actually being paid using the 2009 scale, even up till now. And the reason for this is actually because of the wrong scale that was actually used. As we all aware, pension has to do with your salaries.
Sorry, for those that are outside there, they will come in or they will live in this environment. It's either you are for this meeting or not. If you are for this meeting, please come in here. Hello? All of you that are outside there, sorry, 1 minute. I just want, there are some people at the back there. If you are for this meeting, please come in. But if you are not for this meeting, please leave that environment. You can't continue to distract people. And if that place is for attendance, carry the attendance in. Let our pass it across to people. But this is why they are here.
Thank you, sir. So the pensioners components, we know the basic transport and housing. I know that that's the component of what the pension is actually based on. So the reason why we are having issue, that our staff that retired are being shortchanged, like was mentioned, the principal earning more than professor, is because we used wrong salary scale there. As at that point, the circular released by the federal government through the National Salary and Income and Wages Commission is so straightforward and is available to everyone. You can go to the website, you can actually download it from there. So people in the ministry also have this information. So at 2009, when we had the circular, it was specifically stated. Now, that circular comes with two annexures. The first one talks about the salary structure, while the second one did now define what made up that salary structure. In 2009, the salary structure said, for instance, this is 100 naira for step one. The second annexure now says, this is the breakdown of the 100 naira. We have the consolidated 60, we have the peculiar 35 or 30, and then we have the other one, the rent to the balance. However, you have the option of either using the whole there or you break it down. That has given us information. When the 2019 came, it only came with the structure. That is the total emolument. Now instead of 100, it has been increased. It now becomes say 150. The breakdown did not come with it. So it is assumed if you actually want to get the breakdown, look at the ratio that was used. Perhaps that was the reason why it was set earlier. This is my 100, it is ratio 55 that as we discovered, 55%, 35%, 10% for the consolidated salary, the peculiar and the rent. So when they brought the 2019, it came only with the structure, total emolument, like we have in 2009. 100, now it came with 150. At the point of now preparing the salary scale, instead of breaking the 150 into perhaps if you want it 55%, 30%, 20%, there was an error, misinterpretation. Now, after putting the 150, they now added the 35 of 2009 again as peculiar, and another 10% or 15% as the rent. Now, this particular circular is available. The ministry, I believe, has it, and they were confused at that point. That is, you are double counting peculiar and rent. As there was, an issue, and that was why they have not been able to implement that. That this one is confusing. Let them come and explain. And that was the circular that we received about a month ago or 2 months ago. That we have to present, like the VC has said earlier during his opening remark, bring the enabling law of the university, bring all your circular, your salary scale.
Bossa.
Yes, sir.
And that some people are recording. You should also know that it's against the law. Without informing us that you are recording, you can go ahead and have the lawyer. If you record me without my knowledge, and I get to know, I can sue you. So then the law, you can go and check everywhere. I've just been told now, and I've already identified the person. So if I query you tomorrow, I will still ask within the law. But you cannot tell me ignorance of law is excuse. It doesn't have it's an excuse. It doesn't have. It's an ethical. You can ask those that are faculty of law. You tell you to don't know law. You can also go ahead and check the law of Federal Republic of Nigeria. Just like the server bullying, which they have just passed to law. So if you record me without my knowledge, without telling me, it's a criminal act that is liable for 3 years, within 3 to 5 years imprisonment, or the option of 2 million. If they are going to read it to.
Thank you, sir. So what that means is that the salary scale has been overbloated or increased, and that was why there was an issue of what to do. And we are asked, present your university law, present all your salary scale, as well as the circular that came from the National Salary Income and Wages Commission. And that will be the other point. That was when also, now we came up with this to go and analyze and see what we have been doing. So that one has been submitted to the Commissioner for Education last week. If not, yes, I think to be last week or just earlier this week on Friday. Okay, sir. So now you see that particular issue actually brought about this computation, because there has been issue of arrears as well. And I remember when the 35% for professor for other 35%, 25% wage award came up, the university did not do the implementation. Why? Because already what we are actually earning is small. But first, let us look at the implication of the misinterpretation of the 2019 circular from the National Salary and Income Wages Commission. Now, you have it there. Now, I just pick 1 month from the years, just multiply it by 12, just to get us have the picture. Because the issue of arrears has actually came up, and we need to also let us know. And then at the end of the day, what are the implications of all this? On what we have been doing on payroll, on even the budgeting, on even the taxes that we are paying. Because there are about 3 that are available, there could be more. Now, in 2022, I just picked December. I use that one also for January 2023. So I picked December 2022. When we are actually the interpretation of 2019 circular that was increased by the addition of peculiar and rent, we are supposed to pay for 400. We paid 413.799 million instead of 296 million as salaries. So we overpaid that for the month, each of the months in the 2022 and 2022 by almost 117 million. And over the year, 1.4 billion was actually overpaid. This is the money that should have been spent on another issue. Capital recurrent to develop the university. That's the implication. In 2023, you can see the same thing also using the misinterpreted. So when it gets to 2024, I pick 20 of October as the basis also use that. And you can see that instead of paying 446 million, and instead of paying 882,922 naira as salary, if that particular circular had been correctly interpreted, we paid 446,105,269. So making an overpayment of 123 million plus. In a year, it will have been 4.78 billion. And you can see that also for February, where we only paid for 2 months before the new salary scale comes in. So what this actually means is that staff are actually being overpaid. Now, can we go to sheet 2? That's January 8th. Just to give sample, look at it. Somebody on 7.5, I think that has a problem. Yes, 7.5. When you look at ABC, that is the misinterpreted 2019. Now, others are constant. The one that are very variable is the consul and that is so. Now, this professor should have earned 650 in G. If you look at G now, 650 is what he should have earned, but he was paid 682. A difference of 32,000 overpayment. So such person is supposed to reform. Now, if you look at that is for 2035. But when you look at 2029, that's the one we have in E. That's E. Now, what the university should have paid the professor is 481 because already it has both the consul, the peculiar, and the rent. That's 681. It was paid 682 effective from that period. So it was overpaid 201,000 per month. Now, that's what I've done for each category, the reader, the senior lecturers, and the rest. Even going down, we also have level 14 for the non-teaching. For that grade, 150,000 was overpaid per month, while implementing the 2019 using the wrong circular interpretation for it. And when we now have the areas we are asking for, that is when we have that the next one, that is 59,000 plus. It just when 2023 came, the one for 25, the person is still being overpaid to the tune of 59,973 naira, even for that particular one. So everybody, if you look at that category, overpayment or underpayment per month using 25-23, you see it down from level 14. Everybody can see their own negative. So everybody has already been overpaid as at that time. That's just, if you go to the third sheet, it also includes, the other also shows the same thing for that 2009 interpretation. So, what are the implications of all this? One, the pension remittance. Remember, we also pay 7.5%. So it has been overdone. Yes, the work contributed by staff, definitely the staff will enjoy it. But the one paid by the university should have been reduced. That is number one. Well, that is to the cost of the staff. Yes. Even the staff, but at least if the staff overpaid is his own, he's still going to take it. But the university adding to it is adding more. So apart from what has been lost, now if you look at the table 1 in the summary sheet, for 2000 as of February we have 4.5 as what we have overpaid to staff, 4.5 billion. That is excluding over remittance to pension. Another one, this 4.5 will have been used for something else, for development of the university. Number 3, tax payments income. the excess payment of tax is also still there. So, by and large, that is just a summary of the table to also let us know that there has been misinterpretation in the law. The circular is available everywhere, it's on the website, and that is also the basis for which pensions also will be calculated in the state. And we have been asked to create solution which the management has actually done. And then we are still looking at, we have actually corrected that when we are sending it. We let the ministry know, see, this is the one that was misinterpreted, but this is the one that has been corrected in case you want to use it. Not only that, remember we didn't even implement 35-25 because we are already earning more than that. We still sent that to the ministry so that those that retired during those period, that period of January 2023 till February 2025, will have their own pension also based on that, even though we didn't implement that. So that is the summary, sir, of the whole issue of pension as well as overpayment and arrears. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, now this is the way we are paying. Now, what is the implication on the pension? So I call the staff people to go and tell us the area, the one they are using to calculate the pension, so that you see the reason why the PS of the rule of pension was saying that that assembly that we don't do whatever we like there. And that's why they are not touching anything beyond 2009.
Yes, and just to point out the components of the salary being used in calculating pension as being projected there. Yes, the first one is basic salary, the second one is transport, and the third one is housing. And in line with the explanation of the bursar, the present salary being paid by the university is actually at variance with the salary scale in the pension office. And in view of this, the pension office resorted to using the old salary scale in calculating the entitlement of the university's retirees, and this has made them to be grossly underpaid. The implication of this therefore is that our retirees are being underpaid by about 50%. Thank you.
My dear colleagues, you can see what we have done to ourselves. All the people that have retired from 2022 to date have been surpaid by 50% of their emolument. Simply because somebody among us here misinterpreted the circular. And so when we got to Abeokuta, the House of Assembly, what I mentioned, I was arguing blindly there, toasting our people, because this is where we have the headaches. And we believe that whatever we do has always been perfect. And I was telling them they are the one that doesn't understand how to interpret the law, and not us. Of course, the civil servants, we know them. The PS, the rule of pension, kept on saying, Mr. Speaker, I'm sure that we have interpreted the law very well. But OOU doesn't know what they are doing. And that they are just awarding, they are just giving themselves money. And they just give the money to themselves the way they like. I think the right sound was there, the star people at the Wall Street who are out there. He said, because you are paying yourself, that is why you are doing what you like. Last year, when you were about doing budget, I Apparently, they will have seen this. When we go to the Ministry of Budget and Planning, the Director of Finance said it openly there that you should come and tell us where they get their own circular that they are using to pay their salary. Of course, I blackmailed the commissioner because it was one of the members of the council. They said, commissioner, we are once on our council, you know that it is the party that pay. And whatever we pay, it must have been approved. So I come up there because it is disheartening for me to be saying in there that somebody misinterpreted the law. At that point, I did not even know truly, because I thought that we are doing the right thing. And thereafter, we received a letter from the Commissioner for Education asking us to provide the law of the university, the circular from National Wages and Salaries Commission, and our salary scale from 2007 to date. So at that point, I felt if the House is asking the same question, the executive is asking the same question, there's something is wrong somewhere. Before we answer the question, we received a memo from one of the union asking us to explain why peculiar rents were removed from their salary. And I asked myself, even the government does not have right to remove any component of the salary because it's a labor law. I mean, it's a labor matter, which is under exclusive right. And if it's under exclusive list, it is only the federal government that can legislate on the salary. So I cannot touch it. So I asked the bossa to send it to the head of payroll to tell us what actually happened. And behold, we were told that we did not remove any peculiar or rent from the salary. That both the peculiar and the rent are in that same salary that is already earned. And I said, okay, but then the same unit that actually advised the management on how to pay 2019 circular. Send it back to them. Let them explain to us as well. How do they do it? And the man came back and insisted that what he did was also right. And we cannot have two things to be right. So we then asked the head of the payroll to interpret that one and interpret the second one and advise us as appropriate. Because another time we want to reply the Ministry of Education. And I need to be sure what is the problem. Because I know, at that point, I also know that there's a problem somewhere. So when the woman now explained, so we did explain everything in writing, we then asked Bossa, now that the woman has explained to us, can we call the former Bossa? I thought that the problem started when engaging. So I took a decision that as we are paying salary, when we return to home, we also had our home immediately and transfer it. But Bossa brought something to me and said, no, that there are some that we need to balance. And I said, okay, can we do that every 2 months? We'll take it together and pay. 1 month of old, 2 months of new and pay. But as we sit there, when those people are presenting, I asked him, Bossa, how far? Those who are talking about 2009. He said that is aware that it's only 2008 that they actually debited on both sides. There's another problem of being menstruation. I don't know the issue who remember what I'm trying to say. They actually debited his own money, the money did not get there. So what those people are saying is also correct. And the man wrote to us, we were able to calculate it and transfer those immediately. So those are the three categories that we have. And we also have this issue of our payments, that all of us also need to pay rent for me. Because if it's 19% of over 1.4 billion, after deducting your money, and also deduct the interest rates. So we will look at it together, and I want us to take decision this month. So after this, everybody will be on the same page. Nobody will come and tell you what is not correct. But that is the part of this one. And also want to tell us in terms of appraisers, please, we have migrated to online. But because the non-teaching staff has already done their own, just one page, doesn't problem us. We've allowed them to do manually. But for the very staff, allow them to go online, because they need to do 30 copies of all their CDs, photocopy all their journals, and bind them as a booklet for 30 copies. And I felt that is too much. That's not too much. And they can still say the meeting for the main trail, go and make it here again. So, my dear colleagues, we are not likely going forward for what we have done. Nobody is going to photocopy anything anymore. Nobody. So just upload your CD, as you have it there. For those people, you can use link, ordinary link. If you have the paper is online, just put the link there. You are so put it, you click you see there. But if it's all journal and you cannot see, there is only not yet online. You don't need to photocopy the whole journal, no. That's your own article there. Is the one that we need. Just convert it to PDF and upload it. Are we there? So, going forward, that is what we are going to be doing. HOD, the things are there. Send the link to all the school lecturers in your department and above. Let them go and send the person there. And then you have your meeting together. What I ask them to do is that you must accept them individually. And then come back together and take a decision for that person. If the decision of the board that I want, just upload it into a recommendation. That's all. When they get to the dean will share with all the professors. That link will share with all the professors in the faculty, the corporate dean, and the head of the department for that purpose. The professors are also expected to do their own independently. And when they come to the faculty board, faculty review panel, they can then agree on what they are going to put for everybody. That will also be. I've also instructed them. Nobody can remove a journal from what they have done before. Because we have a copy with us here. You can use that paper for promotion before. You can't remove anything from that CD. Which means if you want to remove it, you have to receive the APC to get promoted. So whatever you have put there before must remain. It's just an addition. Just add what you have to it. And if somebody has used one paper before that is your senior, and paraventure they have scored that paper 3 points, they must also score 3 points for that paper. They can't say now that paper, and I read it properly now, it is 1 point. No, because they do it together. Is that paper that you read and you get that person 3 points, you must also have the 3 points. If that person had 1 point at that time, you can't give you 3 points now. It's that same point that is also going to have. So that is what we are going to be doing. And I also want to, like I told the dates, nobody will ask you for any 6 days anymore. Nobody will send anything out anymore. We are going to share the link, not the same link that the day is going to make use of. The day is going to make use of. That's what I'm going to share with the external assessors. You go come back to our platform and assess you there and send email to me, which will also mean that they are pleased. With this, make it seamless and everybody will go. So, my dear colleagues, what can we do? So, to summarize it, what do you want us to do? For those of you that are here to be on it, so that I will solve your problem for you. I've asked Bossa, don't worry. Bossa has done a lot of work. I've asked Bossa to calculate what everybody needs to contribute. You can see in the system what you're supposed to contribute and what you're supposed to have. Bossa has done that. Irrespective of either you join before, now, or you join in the middle, or whatever. So all of us, you can check exactly where you are. Are we there? You can check where you are, and then we all agree together. It's only I don't want to bother most of us here. How we are just have to do with the issue of money, and I'm not permitted to deduct your salary without your consent. Do you understand? So, for those ones who contact those individuals, you have meeting with Bossa, you agree on how you are going to deduct it from your salary. You agree with them, and then we also back it up with our own, and then transfer. Okay? With what they said now, we are also trying to modify it because some people are going to retire before the end of the year. And it's already realized what they are talking about. But we want to start with those people. That will go and for all whatever they're supposed to remit on our part, we will pay them before their retirement day. So nobody will be shortchanged. So we'll do that, we'll be doing it in basis while we continue to do those of us that are still in the system, we continue to add it gradually. But for those that are different, when next year, for instance, and from now to the end of next year, you get a priority. Calculate everything, ask you yourself, how do you want us to do your work, and get the money from your salary as well, we then help you to transfer it. Then take the next level and all that. But I'm very sure there is something that we can conclude in the next 2 years. And when I say so is that once we pay the last sum of the arrears that we want to pay, after we have, once we enter the new section now, and we close our portal. Once we close the portal, we know how many they are to pay. I always want to pay things one first to go to one private. So we pay that one. And after that, we know that come next year, if there's no arrears to pay, we then put the arrears, all these things I told you about. Further, I started calculating it, it's not that much. For what you have shown me, 20 million, 30 million, 20 million. So, by the time I had all those things together, maybe I thought about the billion of 500 million, which is not that significant. You can read those words. But the first thing is that I can't pay if you don't pay us. So any other suggestion apart from what I think all agree Can we say that? Alright, so if we approve it, then we'll go ahead and implement it. Paul, you have another view? Okay, go ahead.
Well, thank you very much, sir, for your explanation. Well, you've taken us memory lane in respect of salary. Once I've explained how the salary has been overpaid, according to what we just saw. But, sir, I want us to tread something. Reason being that that's what was mentioned. We have other schools too. Let me make use of the case of Lautech and OOU. The circular from 2019, today that we're talking of, was used in other schools, Lautech, as an example. Lautech is yet to implement the new minimum wage. If we take, for instance, the salary scale of a level 14 officer step 5 in Lautech, we have 490,368. If we look at what we have in OOU, the difference we'll be having now will just be around 40,000 naira. Sir, I'm not looking at Lautech. That by the time Lautech implements the new minimum wage, definitely the 490 will be jacked up. And again, on our pay scheme, as you have explained, we have palliative there, 40,000 naira. We thank the council, we appreciate the management. But the fear is this: we call it palliative. Palliative can be taken away at any time. Our fear now is, if my money now is X amount, and the palliative that I'm enjoying now is being taken away, definitely my money will be minus X. Those who are in other schools that are yet to implement the minimum wage, is it not that we know you without be thinking that how are we to meet up? That's why I advise that probably we should look at this. And again, sir, some years back, we have a wage award of 25-35, which you have mentioned, sir. But this university, for reasons that you have mentioned, was not implemented. Now thinking within myself, if we have been overpaid right from 2022, and the wage award came after that, and it means that we have been having our real, quote unquote, real salary, then the wage award will have been added to it, definitely plus or minus to amount to the same amount. I'm hearing this for the first time from you. This is a presentation from the bossa. My junior votes to demand for some explanation in respect of this. But where we are, if, I'm sorry, sir, and again, on the issue of pension, vividly, I can remember, sometimes ago when we were having congregational meeting with the Pro-Chancellor, this issue was discussed, the issue of pension. There and then, we were told that we are having issue mainly because the salary that we are taking in OOU was never gazetted. And the Pro-Chancellor promised that he's going to use his will to ensure that the wrongs
were corrected. My next question. If we are of the opinion, we are saying that we are having excess salary, and the salary we are even talking about has not been gazetted, are we not coming back to the same point? To conclude, sir, the difference between the salary of LAUTECH that I mentioned and that of us here in OOU is 40,000 naira without implementation of the minimum wage. Thank you, sir.
Okay, let me take you one by one. A salary of any state university can never be more than federal university. That is one. When you talk about the point of law, it doesn't have anything to do with whether LAUTECH is paying X amount or OOU is paying X amount. What we are supposed to be paid is there on the National Wages and Salaries Commission. The scales are there. You can go ahead and check. It's actually a statement of facts. Then when you send a letter to me to be explained, it's not my duty to explain. That's the truth. For those that have been in the union for years, to tell you here, it is the duty of the union to do their own. And every time they are bought and paying them is wrong. I have a duty to manage, to start from the university. And I have a duty to tell those ones, this is what I need to do. So when I pay, and I look at the details of what's supposed to be paid, it is in line with the law. And that law is paying more than us. It's not an excuse. If I be paid rightly, I won't be querying from Minister of Education and House of Assembly to be supplying all those duties. If I pay rightly, the Director of Finance, I think, I'm very sure that your members are the ones who follow us to the House of Assembly, to the budget, all that. They were there. And they were one that people told us the indication of all this. They have all the details with me, not validated. Now, the question here is that if you are doing it rightly, don't forget that this budget we are talking about, all these overpayments, are part of what we presented as budget to government every year. So they ask those questions. Now let me go to the one that they said is not presented, which is true. What they mean by presented is that in 2009, Council approved it. By the time they are presenting this in 2022, there was no council in place. And government did not approve it. When we met the governor, the Chancellor was there, he led the team. And we were asked to write. Of course, they sent it to all the others. And when they saw it, as we see, nobody approved it. In fact, legislature is there, I will tell you, they asked us to attach the approval of all the salaries that we are paying. From 2007 to date, including our laws. So what it implies is that we have been overpaid from that time till now, and there are implications for all those things. In that way, like I mentioned, they are also trying to solve their problem. And that is why they are not paying for anything with their salary. If you look at the 2020, the one we made of 35%, 35%, it was because we don't want to torture anybody. But when they are saying it, all I know is that they everywhere they go, and it's start already. Federal government made the law. And federal government paid the salary of all the salary of the workers with federal advantages. Your salary cannot be more than their own salary, except you are given the special allowance. There is no special allowance in all those laws. There is no way you can interpret the same circular that they use like a general office to pay salary of people, and your own will be better than the circular. The interpretation is very clear. It's a layman language that is there. If somebody has misinterpreted the circular, we will ask question. Then the person explain. If you are going to now, for instance, to go and get their own, contrary to what is there in the National Wages and Salaries Commission, you put it there. What they are asking us to do, which is a statement of fact, is that we have circular from 2007 to today from National Wages and Salaries Commission that stipulates how salaries will be paid and the structure. Nobody in Nigeria can decide how they are going to pay and what they are going to pay except that salaries and wages commission. So it is that formula that you need to interpret. When you get interpret that formula and what is there, if you want to add anything to it, you can do that. That's the meaning of palliative or special allowance. And I'm happy that you said it, that that's not bad. It is not there for us to all agree here that we are going back to council and say that we have overpaid. And if you don't know that they interpret it better than this, they can also come up with it in their own interpretation of the National Wages and Salaries Commission. It's written in English. And section 1 says that salary structure. And section 2 talk about the component of salary structure. Yes, it is not like thinking to that explain all those things. Because we have people that were employed by council to do that job. And those people that were employed to do that job, they felt that they are capable to do the job. And they ask them to go and interpret it. It's the same kind of people that also interpreted the one we are using. As we speak, it's not interpreted by us. The rest of us are with us. We are going to pack everything and send it to council. No decision is taken by management staff. And that is what I want all of us to know. That always be advised, if you send anything to the office of Vice Chancellor, we will send it to the legislature if it has to do with the establishment of leadership. We will send it there. If it has to do with students, we still send it to the legislature, we send it to Senate affairs. They will still write things to us. If it has to do with issues that we are talking about, we have all the write-up from all the units, they are with us. And all of them are your members, you can ask them. They are your members, they want everybody has written their own. What is the indicator of pension? They are giving us. What is the indicator of the budget that we are doing every year? They are giving it to us. What is the indicator of the salary we are paying with this month? It is with us. So it is nothing for me to train consciously about. Now they've asked me in America, last week Friday, I'm happy that last people are here. They came to introduce their expo. And they asked me the same question. What do I want to send to America together with the query sent to me? And because I got that query, if they are asking me to be submitting the laws of the university, submitting the National Wages and Salaries Commission circular from 2007 to date, and be submitting the salary structure that we are using from 2007 to date. There's a lot of indication of me. And right out of this one. I need to send it to them. I put it there clearly that from the interpretation, somebody misinterpreted the circular. And you suppose somebody that's supposed to get 800,000 and then up is collecting 1.4 billion. It is not the government to take the decision on it, it is the government for it, it is not me. The university is for the state government, and they have right to ask questions. And they have asked questions and have answered them. It's good that they are asking me, they are telling me this. I will ask them question in the other lady, my girlfriend is the chairman of council. That you can ask them to bring the circular to him for them to look at it. Somebody somewhere was also misinterpreted that circular there. I will ask him to go and check. You know, we talk to ourselves, not that I say, not that I can say openly here. As the committee of vice chancellor of Nigeria University, we compare those there. What others are doing, some things are not good, they are not right like they are doing. And most of the time, the problem is what I told you here. They came, that's why they came here to collect the wrong thing. Probably they also went to Southwest to collect the wrong thing there as well. And make use of it. It is possible. It is possible that they ask them to bring the thing here. I'll give a two example. Again, the letters in this university have not gone beyond 7 or so. But somebody somewhere send a traveler to Southwest and said, you know, they get to them so and so. What are what happening here? And last school, I think the union went to Southwest, collected that thing, and I take it to the DC of that. Incidentally, they saw the name of the old India, and I'm the alternate chairman of the committee of vice chancellor of Nigeria University of State University today. So the man said it to me. Normally, what happened here? Can you supply me with the details? And I replied that it never happened this past. So there are so many things like that, you know, that is actually going on. There are so many things that people have done that is something there. If I now explain all this, it is enough to us industrial crisis in this matter. But when people continue to say that we are waiting there in 3 months, we should come and pay. We are not the people that did it, are also your members. They know the truth. They do have a friend of you that know we did this wrongly, and that we have headed there. And it's causing all sorts of embarrassment for people. I don't know where that will end at this of education. Truly. But I'll send it on Friday. I used the government affairs to take it there, and they submitted it on Monday. I gave it to them on Friday and close of work. So, it is not my duty to be explaining if what I've already said it, that what we have used to pay the salary is in line with the latest National Wages and Salaries Commission. And when some of us that is in the union, all those officers are with us. I would have done the due diligence on my own and see if I'm surveyed, if I'm overpaid and don't carry it like any other person. That's the truth. That's why other unions are not sorry. I will not be fine if I'm saying that they pay me more. But if I'm surveyed, they will be the first one to write. And I thank all those people and the details. You know, that is the truth. It is the role of the union to do their own work. You should call the people in the bursary here. Let them interpret it. They are accountants, they are chartered accountants. Let them interpret it for us. They are the ones that have been addressing management, not somebody like me that is the professor of medicine. So, my dear colleagues, I want us to now find out, okay, you take up that thing, which is the issue of special allowance, which I say is palliative. It's palliative truly, because what we supposed to be getting is what we there. And as I said, people can go ahead and check the measure wages and salaries of and compute it themselves. I'm happy that person is also a member of SAN. I'm happy that everybody involved are member of SAN. Now, put them together. I'm happy that Dr. Tolere is here. He's also a chartered accountant, the former bossa. I'm happy that Mr. Bakide is there, also the former bossa. They are members of SAN. The auditor is there. So you can put all of them together, the whole chartered accountant, including bossa, to explain better. Having said this, I think we all agree that we can leave it where it is, so that we can move forward, but we'll be paying for the pension the way we talk about it. And I also want to assure this gathering that I will continue to defend the interest of all staff outside here, no matter what has happened. No matter what has happened, I will continue to do so. It is my duty to do that. You know, and finally, since we are all agreed that we should go in that direction, I want to thank all the members of staff that have congratulated me for the new position that we give them as alternate chairman of the Committee of Chancellor of the Government Sector. I thank all the unions that also written, apart from putting on their platform and they send it to me, asking me if they can put on their platform and send letter of congratulating to me and thank them. And also thank all the staff of the university for the cooperation that we are doing. It is the atmosphere of peace that we can continue to have progress and growth that we are enjoying. My dear staff, I want to tell you that because we have peace and people have been working assiduously, the pursuit area of this year is one of the best I've ever seen. As of today, 32,000 have collected pursuit area reform. 32,000. Last year was 21,000. Last year was just 21,000. The year before was 16,000. Another 15,000. But this year, 32,000 are spending for weekend. It shows clearly that people are continuing to accept us. You remember in the past, we used to take buses to Ibadan. Those people that were here at that time, we take bus to Ibadan, Abeokuta, Lagos, to be canvassing for students to come to OOU. And in that period, we don't even have up to 3,000. But now we don't go anywhere. We have 32,000 that are already taken to do them. And because of when we have the job to close our portal for us on Monday, 40,000 people have chosen OOU. 40,000 have chosen OOU. The other problem we have is that we still have to increase our infrastructural base. We are doing it gradually. We have seen people that have been contributing. We need to thank all the alumni that are doing well. Alantifago, doing also 50,000. Dr. Ashipo, doing all that industry that we are using. Okela, and doing us. And yesterday, the Rotary Club wants to give us another building. They'll be here to check the site, and anytime from now, they will be in. Like that. So thank you very much, and I wish us a very beautiful and nice day. I'm glad to be singing Atiba. Atiba.